6. Command Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. 80 knots, thrust set. 5500. 31. Rotate.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Man, it has been a while since I've done a little evening stream like this. I'm super excited to get this show on the road. We've got a line of Spirit Tails already set up. For those who don't know, I'm actually I'm just a member of the vSpirit group. A couple of the mods in my Discord, they came up with a VA of their own, and I said, yeah, I've never really been a fan of VAs. I don't really do them, but since you guys have supported me, why can't I do a little reciprocation of that support and join the vSpirit? And it's actually been quite a lot of fun. I'm actually going to walk you guys through operating a flight on vSpirit. So we're going to use the VAMSys plugin. I'm going to show you how you set your flight up. Well, not really how you set it up, but after you get it set up, what you do and how you get your flight ready to go and get off the gate. So it should be a lot of fun. We have some SOPs we have to operate under. I got myself a drink. I hope you guys got a drink. I hope you're ready to just close out this week. I do apologize for those that were wanting to see FS 2020. I spent 18 hours updating that sim, getting it ready to go, and then I was trying to I had the fly-by-wire mod working this morning around 9 or 10 a.m., and my sim is just giving me issues, and it's just unstable. I've had some crashes, so I need a full day to sit down and work on the stability of my sim. That way I can have a nice relaxing flight in the fly-by-wire mod, because that airplane has progressed so far that I want to do due diligence when I fly it on stream. I don't just want to have a low-quality stream and have that be a reflection of anything that the fly-by-wire guys have done, because it's actually pretty mind-blowing how much progress has been made since I flew that airplane. So anyway, enough about that. Freedom BW coming in with a $50 bomb incoming. He's got it with you, V1. Ah, Freedom, thank you so much for your support, man. I really, really appreciate that. Very kind of you, very generous of you for a $50 bond. Appreciate that, sir. I will be with you tonight, absolutely. Dougal McTavish, good to see you here. I know it's late for you as well. Ginar Hoffen, good to see you. Christian Ionscu, who landed here moments ago on VATSIM and then called it Fort George. So I think Dallas-Fort Worth will now be ever remembered as Fort George. Henry, Henry, Spirit Wings, Scott Rashley, good to see you. Has Logan, first time watching a live stream. Welcome, man. I know I don't normally stream this late, so I know we're going to have a couple new guys popping in the chat. I welcome you to stay, and I hope you enjoy the show. So let's get to it, shall we? What I'm going to do first is I'm going to pop up VAMSIS here. So I'm going to load this up here. We're going to stay on the outside screen here just for a minute. Hotfix for the hotfix is out. Yeah, so I figured that would drop today too. And so I'm actually going on a 4-day trip tomorrow. I'm going to be gone. I'm extremely busy. And then I think next week, Wednesday or Thursday, I'll have some time to sit down with FS 2020 and get it all sorted. But tonight we're in X-Plane. We're closing out the week. Pegasus plugin. I'm going to pop this up here. So this is the VAMSIS. I would probably call it VAMSIS or Pegasus here. I need to actually move it over to my other screen so I can see it. So we have a booking already set up here. Once you go through the progress of setting up with vSpirit and getting all your stuff situated and get a flight booked, you're going to load up the VAMSIS plugin, and this is kind of your virtual dispatcher. So you can see that we're operating a Dallas-Fort Worth flight as NKS or Spirit Wings 5750. That's going to be a good one to remember. Out to Tampa International. We got our route of flight here. No additional remarks. And I'll give you the gate information. Our off-block time is 22:40. So what's kind of funny and kind of ironic, when I show up to work in the real airplane, I give myself about a 45-minute, actually no, we have a required 45-minute pre-show, I guess is what you would call it, unless it's a fleet launch flight or something like that. When I get ready to stream, I actually show up at the office an hour early. So I have to set up my stream earlier than I do when I go set up the real airplane. I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, we're all good to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start flight. What that's going to do is it's going to launch our ACARS system.
Donation.
Sergey coming in with a $40 bomb. Sergey, thank you so much for the support, man. He says, finally, I'm here for a full stream, getting ready for my first vax tomorrow and have no work to do. Here's a little for the V1HQ bourbon fun. Hey, Sergey, cheers, my friend. I've got a little cocktail here myself tonight, closing out the week. Thank you so much for your support, man. I really appreciate that donation. Very much appreciate it. All right, so you can see we're in the pre-flight phase, and we'll talk about bonus points and all that stuff, but essentially now we got to set up our aircraft. We go to OFP, it'll load up your operational flight plan, which this is our sim brief flight plan. And vSpirit, they utilize the same format that I like to use, so it makes it very easy. This is their format here. You guys are familiar with this. You've seen this on stream quite a bit. So we're going to just leave that there for now. I'm going to go ahead and minimize it. I'm going to try to close it off the screen. Hopefully I don't forget to do that when I am going in between screens, because I have to manually close it from OBS so it doesn't stay on the screen too long. All right. So the airplane is kind of at a random state here. I've got it on ground power, but nothing else is on. Sometimes we'll walk up to an airplane that's in transit like this with just the GPU power on, but everything else is in the off position. So we treat it like a cold and dark airplane. Let's go ahead and get it fired up. We're going to go battery 1, battery 2, get that online. We already have external power on. We're not going to use the APU. We're going to do a fire test. That works. That looks good. And everything else pressurization-wise looks good. We'll come back down here. I'm going to check the engines, make sure we have our oil quantities. Pressurization is in auto. Hydraulic fluid is good. Awesome. All right, from there, I'm going to come back here to start my captain flow. We're going to turn that on. Ground control, CVR test. Simulate that. Let's go ahead and get our ADIRs on. I talked about this change from Airbus where you only have to wait for one on-bat light now, according to Airbus. Why is Spirit NKS? I believe that is the founder of Spirit was Ned, and they went with Ned's kids. So back in the day, Spirit has been around quite a while, not as long as some airlines, of course, but it actually started as a charter company way back in the day out of Detroit, I believe. So yeah, that's just kind of something that's been adopted. All right, we'll go strobe to auto, nav is position 1, off auto, we'll arm those. Don't have our fuel on board, we'll do our fire test. Fire test 2. Up the right-hand side of the panel here. Oh, a little announcement in the back, there we go, we'll get that turned on. Carter Jewel, I saw you pop in chat there. I know you are on the flight today on the vSpirit. This seems awfully loud. Let me turn down something really quick here. Let me go to my Sound 3D. And is it weather? No? What is this fan? Yeah, we're going to turn that systems down to about 60%. So, a couple of high-profile Spirit pilots here. We've got, I believe, Carta Joel is over here. Christian, I think, is here, who can't park correctly. And there's a couple other gentlemen here as well on the vSpirit team that are doing flights tonight. So, we are in a... Carter, can I spill the beans about your secret project? I won't if you don't want me to. But I'm actually, you guys have seen me rock that other livery from Gerald McGinley quite a bit. We're a little bit dirty airframe. I think it was 513 or whatever. This one is from OT Designs. He goes by OT Designs on the forums, and it's Spirit's kind of a, I don't know if, I wouldn't say rebranded, but they've updated their logo. They got rid of the squiggly lines. It's more of just a flat black now, and then it just says spirit.com on the airline. So this is kind of a clean or a fresh livery that I'm going to rock tonight. Normally I do like to use that Gerald McGinley one that's a little bit more dirty, but this is what we got going on for tonight. So just thought you guys might want to see that. And of course, yeah, we got everybody else here. Of course, Christian, just despicable. All right. Anthony Colon, welcome to Private Pilot, my friend. Exclamation point, welcome. Exclamation point, welcome for your new benefits to the channel. And we have an ERJ behind us. Team Vodka is also joining us tonight for the flight. Well, that's exciting. Air France, that's interesting. I doubt that's what you're actually flying, but welcome to ERJ. All right, we got to continue to finish our setup here. We are on the clock. I'm using real-time, real-world weather, so we got to be off block by 22:40, 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and get our box loaded up here. So I'm going to come down here. We're going to start with this. Please tell me I'm current. I am. All right, we're going to go. We're going to set this KDFW to Tampa International. Oops. Can anyone join this VA? Yes, you can. And I don't have a link in the description like a very bad supporter. So if one of the mods, Carter or Dougal, if anyone can post a link for it, that's my bad. I should have put that in the description of where you can join the VA. But if you're in my Discord, there are also, like I said, the mods for my channel are some of the founders of this VA, so I'm sure they'd be able to help you out. Go ahead, hit a line on RRS there. NKS 5750. And we'll talk a little bit more about VAs as we get in cruise. We got a lot to talk about, and I'll explain why I decided, other than support, why I actually enjoyed this VA more so than maybe some others that are out there. Just from my style of flying, maybe you relate to how I like to fly on the sim. So, all right, we've got that set here. I gotta bump this up a little bit. Just can't see the bottom. Cost index for vSpirit, they got us going at 15. Oh, that's not gonna work for me. So what's happening is every time I click the McDo, it pops my BAMSys off. There we go. All right, cost index is 15. All right, why am I having an issue with the pop out? Okay. Uh-oh. It's like I have a window that's bizarre. So BAMSys is actually bugging out my window. That's all right. We'll come down here. We'll do it without it up on the screen. Cost index 15. Cruise flight level, I believe we're 380. And we actually have a clearance anyway here. You're the American Eagle? Roger. I figured you would be over there at that gate. All right, we're going to be departing. Let's see. We got our clearance from DFW Towers online. Let's make sure we are expecting 17 right for departure. So we're going to go ahead and put 17 right. And indeed, they have us filed March 2. So let's go ahead and load that up on the March 2. March 2 departure out to Zalia. Insert, this is going to take us out over the Gulf. We'll pop this screen up here, put it in plan mode so we can kind of see what's going on. No spilly, okay. All right, I won't spill them, Carter. how does it affect the flight, like VNAV, airspeed, speeds? Are you talking about for cost index? It's going to slow you down. Just think of the lower your cost index, the slower you're going to be. To an extent. March to Zalia Snow Hill, SWB, or Sawmill. It's got to be Sawmill. SWB, 228 miles, not the one that's 4,000 miles away. From SWB, we're going to go direct to Harvey, which is out over the oil rigs. Got a cool story about that, flying over Harvey at night in real life. From Harvey, we're going to pick up the airways here. We're going to pick up Q105 to Redfin. Man, if I had $1 for every time I flew Q105 out to Redfin, I'd probably have a couple $100 by now. And then actually, we're just going to go to a Yankee 280, and we should change over at Redfin. Perfect. To charge, we'll set that there. Insert. So now we got our airways out over the Gulf, and then from charge, we are going to, we're actually going to go on the arrival, the Rays 1. Tampa Bay Rays. I'm going to just load in, I don't know what they're landing, but let's just plan on one left. I feel like I land one left a lot. I don't know if they're landing one left or not. We'll do Rays 1, no via transition of charge. Insert. This is X-Plane 11. $380 on an Eastern flight. 380. Oh, at my let's see what we filed. Oh, we're filed at 37. Thanks. Yeah, East is odd. We'll change that right now. 370. And it's plus 10, so it's minus 46. And the tropopause is at 44,000. Boom. Set that up there. So we got our perf data set. Just like in real life here, we're going to do our air return, emergency air return, DFW. I am flying with failures on. You never know when you're going to get one of those, especially in the Toliss. So I always set up my secondary here. And I have my 319 a little bit older than normal too, kind of replicate that realism, which is really cool. I like that option with Toliss. What do we got for the meter? Let me double click on the ATIS is also out. Awesome. Information uniform 29er and 9er 5. Throw that there, and temp off the ECAM 33C. And I'm going to use 0 for 0 on the wind. That way we don't have any increase in performance. And my memory serves me right. It's a 762 DA. Nothing to hard tune on the init B page. We're going to load this up via VAMSys now. So what I do here is I'm going to go here and I'm going to match my zero fuel weights. And actually, VAMSys will tell me how many passengers I have. You have 19 right for Tampa, Carta? Uh-oh. Rock City Straw, what's going on? Everyone's landing 19 left? All right. Harvey, yes, you are. You are a waypoint. I've flown over the Harvey waypoint quite a bit. Remind me, well, I'll probably remember when we're flying over there. I got a cool story about it. All right, so I don't know why when I load up VAMSys here, it really lags my screen out. So I'm going to go back to the booking, and it shows 131 passengers. So I'm going to load 131 here. And then back to my OFP, scroll it back down. We have block fuel, gate fuel. Oh, it just dropped 19.6. Just reloaded on me, but I believe I saw 19.6. So we're going to set 19.6. I don't know why my VAMSys overlay is not working. Let me try it without overlaying it on the stream, see if it gives me the same issue. It's weird. It's like it locks the window for me. Alright, so yeah, 19.6 is our fuel. We do have an alternate over Orlando. I got to put that in there. And our zero fuel weight, 123.3. Oh, look, we're pretty much right on it. That'll do it right there. 4,400 pounds, 131 peeps, 19.6 on the fuel. We'll get rid of the VAMSys overlay now, but we do have to put the alternate in. So let me come back to my initial. Well, let's load this up. 123.2 280, so essentially 300. And our CG is 30.7. I'd love to see a perfectly balanced airplane. Block fuel on board 19.6 confirmed. That is set. Extra time, hour 12, but we got to put our alternate in here. Orlando. Dimitri, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream, my friend. From up north, I bet it's a heck of a lot cooler than it is down here, man. Welcome aboard. All right. Didn't know Spirit had Wi-Fi? CJ Infinite Aviation, you're actually on board a Spirit. Yeah, Spirit 321s do have Wi-Fi. That is correct. I've never used it, but it's awesome to see that you're on it, man. Good deal. All right, DFW Tampa, I think our flight plan is set up there. Let's do our speeds here. And I know vSpirit likes to flex, but hey, I gotta stay true to my roots here. We're gonna go maximum yoga, 137, oops, 137, 141, flap 1, departure with the Toga. It says packs off, so what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to do it manually. It's gonna be hot and nasty for the passengers in the back, unfortunately. But that's all set up there. We got our route in there. Now we need to come down here and... What's up with my views are no longer working. Give me a second. I have to reset this view. We got a squawk code from ATC of 2316. And for VATSIM purposes, we're going to turn it on here at the gate. And I got to set another camera view here for the radios this flight. F control 5 is set. Intercom on. Turn down the volume a little bit. This is your air for clearance. No readback required. Contact ground control with ATIS and spot number. Run ready to taxi. So we'll assume ramp is uncontrolled. DFW tower will be 2655. We'll have that in the standby. And per vSpirit SOPs, 10 minutes prior to departure, we're going to fire up the APU. F1 Racer, your airline is packs off every time, so that's interesting. I've seen most of the questions that I get for packs off from streaming. I would imagine it comes from European aviation. I guess it's pretty common over there. We only do it here in the States when performance or aero data requires a packs off takeoff, so a little bit less common. But how about your packs off procedure? Do you run the APU? Well, I guess, I don't know if you're on the Airbus or not, but for us, we always try to run the APU instead of, or the APU bleed instead of turning the packs off. But all right, we're 10 minutes prior to our 10-minute push time, so let's go ahead and fire up the APU. We do have our fuel on board. We'll get our fuel pumps on, get our seat belts on. Go ahead and hit the start switch there. Let's take a listen to the APU spooling up. Captain Tom, what is going on? Welcome. Nah, D, I'm not going to flex. I thought about it. We're not going to flex tonight. I love it. One thing I will say about the fly-by-wire mod, those sounds are unreal in FS 2020. What did he give me here? Climb via SID. So, SOP limitation. Well, not really a limitation, but SOP 3 minutes before turning the bleed on. So I'm going to run that 3 minutes. That's to keep odors off out of the cabin. Let's go DFW and departure procedure Marsh 2. Climb via. Got about 9 minutes. So we can push 10 prior. That'd be perfect. Should be 10,000 feet all the way out to Azalea. That looks good, so we're going to set 10,000 in the window. "10 minutes prior to 10 minutes prior. I smell a military veteran behind the controls." No, sir. Not me. But if you're on time, you're late. So I've adopted some of the same principles. My father was military, and my grandfather. Alright. That looks good. I was going to do one more thing and I forget what it was. Guess it doesn't matter. 8 minutes till we can push. Let's plan our pushback. We'll get him connected.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Alright, so for all my vSpiriters that are going to be pushing probably at the same time, I'm going to push and then pull a beam the gate. So if we all kind of push and then go a beam, probably be less of a cluster. So we'll push back and then pull forward to beam the gate.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Oh, also check this out. vSpirit has their own checklist here. So let's go ahead and run through it. Before start, mid-slug tail onboard check cockpit preps complete. Gear pin and covers removed. That's one thing I've been meaning to look. Do they have gear pins on this airplane? Ah, so in the real bus, we store the gear panes right down here. So this is no go. We need some gear pins in here. That's kind of scary. We don't have any. Gear pins and covers removed. Signs, they are on and auto. Aiders, we're navin'. Fuel, 19.6 required. 19.6 is on board. And actually, that's incorrect. I required at takeoff fuel is 19.4 required. Wow, that's tight on gas. Okay, see how you guys are running the ship here at vSpirit. 19.4 required for takeoff. 19.580 on board.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
And then we're going to hold it at the line there. So we're just waiting for that. That's close enough to 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and turn the APU bleed on. Start cooling down the cabin because I'm sure it is hot in Dallas here. What do we got in the back? Indeed, 104 degrees. Good night. Let's go ahead and get rid of these guys. Go ahead and get these trucks driving away. Let's go look at our other comrades over there. Watch out for the tug driver. Might have had some White Claw in his system. I know, man. That White Claw is...
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
No claws, no laws, my friend. Edward, what happens if you're late with vSpirit? Well, like a true good vSpirit pilot, I haven't been late yet. I don't know. I would imagine there is some docking of points. Maybe not. We'll go over... I'm going to go over some of the point system that they have once we're in cruise when I don't have to be clicking around, because for some reason when I overlay the ACARs during stream, it kind of locks my mouse out on the ACARs and I can't manipulate X-planes, so it's kind of weird. But once we get up in cruise, we'll go over the ACAR system. You'll be able to see the moving map. You'll be able to see everybody else flying. It's kind of a neat system. Pretty laid back group of mods. I mean, Captain Tom's kind of a hard ass, but other than that, everyone's pretty laid back. I am on VATSIM tonight, that is correct. EasyJet is PAX off. SOP, I think Wiz is too. Interesting. I'm trying to listen to the conversation this guy's having there. Alright, we're about 5 minutes. About this time, real life, you're probably going to start hearing this starting to close up. We'll make sure everything is manually closed except the L1 door. We do have faults on. One thing I love about Toliss, my 319, I've got a little bit older aircraft age, a little bit older engine age. Kind of helps your, well, in this case, it makes your performance a little bit worse. Looks like those temps are coming down. This is about right.
1035, pushing back exit 21, we'll drop a beam, exit 21.
All right, he's pulling back, dropping a beam. That looks good. F1 Racer says, no, V1, we APU off and leaving stand and packs come off. Take up back to, well, interesting. That's right. You guys are pretty hardcore on APU usage in Europe, right? That's what I saw that a lot when I was looking at the Navigraph charts. A lot of the 10.9 pages or the airport pages had notes about APU restriction use. Interesting. Because we're so low on fuel, we're going to do packs off, single engine taxi, and we'll even cross-bleed start them up today. How about that? We'll just add a little wrench in the chain there. You do get bonus points for a cross-bleed start, so that's always good. Oh, I'm sorry, bonus points for single engine taxi. Does this VA allow Toga takeoffs? Absolutely. I wouldn't have joined it if they said no Toga takeoffs. Either that, I would have been fired by now. All right, let's go ahead and close that final door. 3 minutes prior to push. I'll look over at the FO and be like, hey, you got everything you need? Like, hopefully he says yes. I'll hand out the paperwork, check with the lead flight attendant. They close the door. It sounds a lot like this. From that point, I'll go ahead and turn the beacon on. Make sure ground power is disconnected. They'll pull it from downstairs. And realistically, I'd have to wait for the flight attendants to arm their doors, probably. Finish their conversations. Jeremy, what's up? He says, is there an aerodynamic penalty if you use APU bleeds off for the air because the APU flap would be open and right? No, there is. So unlike the 737, Jeremy, we do not have a, that I am aware of, APU limitation aerodynamic penalty. At least one that we factor into our aero data. I'm not saying there isn't one, but from what I've seen, I don't recall seeing one like you were mentioning on the 7.3. I could be wrong, though. I'd have to look it up. Now, that'd be something... I know I've ferried airplanes where you have to have the APU run the whole flight, and you get additional fuel, and you have a perf limitation. I'd have to look at the actual MEL, though, to see what it's referring to. But that's a great question. When is the Sky Brawl going to take place? Well, you know what's funny, Dynasty, is I was going to try to be as realistic as possible and just cancel the stream right before I started it, before telling anybody. So, but I figured, hey, I can't be that mean. All right, he's pushed back a beam. 30 more seconds to go. What time did we start our ACARS? It says we started pre-flighting at 22:04, so we get a bonus for prep time. So 20 minutes, I think we already hit our bonus, right, Tom? At 20-minute prep time. So in that case, let's run our checklist and get out of here. Windows, doors, and slides are closed and armed. Beacon on. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake is off. 4-star check is complete.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Cockpit to ground. Ground to cockpit. Clear to push. Tail in the alley of beam 18. Oh, I should make radio call. And forward traffic. Spear wings 5750. We're pushing off Echo 18, and we're going to pull up a beam Echo 18 for taxi. Manny, hold that thought. I know where you're coming from about the graphics, but I think a lot of it has to do with this airport. This airport, I wish it was redone by somebody new. The DFW airport by Aerosoft, number one, is extremely heavy on frames, and it's very outdated. But as we fly into the sunset over ORBX HD, you may want to reassess that. But I do understand where you're coming from. Microsoft does look beautiful. I was in it this morning. Has Logan says I have a session with the 7.3, so I prefer it, but I fell in love with the Airbus through watching you. That's awesome, man. I've kind of got that 7.3 itch right now. I want to fly some more Zibo. I want to get better at it, get more proficient at it for sure, because it was such a fun airplane to fly. All right, since we are super tight on fuel, I'm not even going to start engines until we are just about disconnected. Can I pull to 45 or 46 so we can squeeze behind? I don't think I can. Can I adjust him? I don't think I can adjust it right now. I could stop it right now so I don't pull into you. Well, he's going to pull me forward. Sorry, man. I'll be quick. I'll be quick. I'm not going to look behind us because I know we're probably going into that 321. Sorry, dude. What we'll do is we'll taxi out spot 49. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll go. Actually, we'll go 48. Get out of the way. Lauren, Zibo is fun because Toliss won't let you ghost ride it into the gate. Yeah, I don't know how that would work. I think we could try, but it's not the same. It's not the same as the Zibo. Oh man, I'm like inside this 321. I'm sorry, dude. Hey, sorry, man. We told them to watch out for traffic behind us, but they didn't really listen.
You really just have bad luck with these truck drivers, don't you, man?
Sure do, man. Alright, let's go ahead and start engine 1. Engine mode, switch to ignition, start. And here we go, turning 1.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Brake set, clear to disconnect.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Sounds like we got a good start on engine 1. Normal. Whoa, 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 whoa. Uh-oh. What's happening with my throttles here? Jeez. We're good now. Just jet blasted the crap out of that 321 and burnt a lot of our fuel. We're not gonna. We won't cross bleed. Let's just get out of here. Yeah, Lauren, that's what I was afraid of.
Tow is disconnected. On-bike gas bin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Roger that. Thanks for the smooth push. We'll see you next time. All right, after start checklist. Mine is simple. I just go intercom on and make sure the anti-is not required. FO does a bunch of stuff, and we've got our checklist to run. After start, engine anti-ice off. Yellow electric pump is off. Rudder trim 0. After start, checklist complete, but it needs to be on for taxi. So that is on. Associated. Brakes released. Taxi light. Let's get out of here. What spot is this? That's 47. And then we'll call up Tower 2655 at spot 47 with uniform. My tiller is hitting my microphone. Hold on. DFW ground, Spear Wings 5750, spot 47, uniform.
Spear Wings 5750, runway 17 right, taxi line, Kilo Echo Golf.
Kilo Echo Golf 17 rise, Spear Wing 5750. Alright, so we're going to cheat across the pad here. I got to adjust my mic. Hold on. Because I use my honeycomb yoke for the tiller. There we go.
DFW ground, Spear Wings 1035, spot 49, uniform. Spear Wings 1035, 17 right, taxi line, Kilo Echo Golf, all behind, company A319. Okay, route to 17 right, behind the 319, Spear Wings 1035.
I love that sound. Those are the BSS V27A5s. Let's see if we can get on the center line here. Actually act like we're doing something professional. We have to have a warm-up time for our engines as well. So we're going to go ahead and start engine 2 now. So we'll go yellow electric pump off, APU bleed on, ignition start to ignition start, and verify we have pressure. Starting engine 2. I have flown a military charter, John Frankel. I have flown a military charter. I've flown, I think two military charters on a 190, and then I flew a bunch of sports teams charters and stuff like that. But the military charters, it was domestic, wasn't going into Bagram or anything like that. But we did have some. I think they had overflow or something. We had to move some personnel around. We went up into Bangor, Maine. I think they actually were coming back. There were troops that were coming back. So we met an Omni 777, like an Omni 777, I think. Might have been a 76. And then the troops got off. They got on our plane. Then we took them to Wichita Falls. All right, sounds like we got 2 good starts. That goes back to normal. Verify that is armed. APU is coming off. Go ahead and start the chrono for our warm-up time. And flight control check. Pull up. Pull down. Neutral.
Alright, over to departure airport 5666.
Right-ish. Neutral. I know my rudder pedals do that. Max takeoff config checked. Turn this down just a little bit here. Alright, let's run a before takeoff checklist to the line. Gross weight comparison is complete. Pitch trim. I did not set that, nor did the FO, which should have been down 0.4. Not the way you set the trim anymore anyway, so you don't do that in real life. Down 0.4% CG set. V1, VR, V2 flex. I got 137, 37, 41. No flex set. We'll be doing packs off. I'm gonna pull this down to remind me to shut the packs off when we get down there. Flight instruments are checked. Flight controls checked. ECAM memo. Takeoff all green. ECAM status checked. PWS is auto. TCAS code set. TRA chemical advice mini brief is complete. Departure briefing complete. And looks like we're going to be number 1 down there, so as soon as I can see a 17 right,
That's our American 898.
which I can see 17 right there, I can confirm that. Let's go below the line. Takeoff runway confirmed. Fuel. 19.4 required, 19.4 on board. So slow. Engine mode selected normal. Leads and packs. Somebody hot micing? I think somebody's hot micing. Leads and packs are set. Hey, somebody's hot micing pretty bad. Will the Neo complain if it's not set? The 321 Neo will complain. But it's an option. I believe it's the software that you run that's got something to do with it. The 320 Neos, I have not seen that be a thing because we don't even set the trim to that 0.4 decimal anymore. We use the actual trim wheel and the digits on it. What's the tire screeching sound when you land in reality? That's the that's the tire spinning up the speed, my friend. It's like doing a burnout in your car. Americans getting out of here. 15 seconds to our 3-minute warm-up, so I think we're good there. We'll go ahead and clear the chrono. Status message is associated with our packs off. Oh, look at that, 22:40 is our departure time. Man, oh man, it's like we've done this before. This airport's pretty ugly though, gotta admit. This old Aerosoft. Flight Beam Portland is just phenomenal. I flew in there the other day on a test stream, and now I'm at this airport. Does not look near as good. All right, here's the keg route, Kilo Echo Golf. My buddy actually has the sign Kilo Echo Golf, 2 taxiway signs, and he put them on his little beer. His like, what do you call that? The tap. He built a tap thing out of a chest. 17 right, line up and wait, Springs 5750. All right, we're going to line up and wait. Top row of lights come on. We're going to extend the landing lights, but not turn them on.
Good afternoon.
Wow, Fort George.
56, spot 47, ready to taxi uniform.
Clear left.
Kilo Echo Golf, Spirit Wings 56. American 898, you continue taxi behind the Spirit Wings A321. It's going to be Kilo Echo Golf. Kilo Echo Golf, take taxi, follow the Spirit American 898.
Yeah, American giving away to Spirit. That sounds interesting. I've actually heard that fight on radio before. All right, line up and wait. I love the idle sound.
Look at the frequency. New departure frequency is 118.55, 1855.
1855 for departure. Look at those spirits coming out to line up. I love that grayscale. $249 watching, 91 likes. Guys, if you can, hit that like button for me, yeah? If you like this kind of content, I do appreciate it.
5750, wind is 150 at 9er. RNAV Trex, over 17 right, clear for takeoff.
RNAV Trex, 17 right, clear for takeoff, Spearwings 5750. Alright, let's pull it forward. Well, let's see, I'm going to put that down there. We'll do it from back here, as always, right? Are you ready for maximum yogas? Let's do it. Yoga, seat back pocket. Thank you so much for the $5 donation, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, we didn't cancel today. We're the first one going, actually. This is the first flight out that's not canceled. Thrust set. Oh, I didn't turn my lights on. Never done that before. V1. Rotate. To the right. Gear up. Nav it. Fly by. There we go, we can kind of fly and look out the window. Alright, I'm going to wait for that acceleration. We're not at John Wayne anymore, so we can give it a little bit of weight there until we hit the positive trend in airspeed. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring that thrust levers back nice and slow. Drop them all the way into the climb detent. Thrust, climb, climb, auto thrust. Thanks for the subscribe, guys. Appreciate it. VFar said, welcome to Private Pilot! Exclamation point, welcome. For your new roles or new perks, thank you so much for joining the channel, my friend. There's SP. Let's go flap 0. After takeoff checklist. Oh, shoot. We got to turn the packs on. Pack 1 on. 10 seconds. Acceleration altitude. Acceleration altitude. Pack 1 comes on. 10 or 15 seconds so you don't blow the eardrums out. We'll get pack 2 back online. Air pack 2, that's associated, clear air. Clear air, status. Clear status.
Donation. Donation.
There's 15 seconds, pack 2 can come back online. Status message has gone away. We're looking good now. Thank you so much for the $5 bomb, Captain Tom. Coming and says, thanks for repping us, King. Really helps out a lot. Hey, Captain Tom, no sweat, man. I appreciate everything that you guys do as mods for the channel. This is the very least I can do to give back to you guys. I do enjoy flying vSpirit stuff. It gives me a purpose to fly in the sim when I'm not doing a stream, so I appreciate you guys. You guys are running a pretty good ship over there. I'm gonna kind of cheat. Oh, I lost it. Hold on. I want to look at the wing view here. There we go. And I'll keep this up here. So 240. Oh, I never contacted departure. Alright, I guess I can't do the wing view. We're on VATSIM. Fly the airplane. Departure, good afternoon. Spearwings 5750. We're 7th, climbing 10,000 on the March 2. What? We dropped connection. Interesting. Departure, good afternoon. Spearwings 5750. 8th, climbing 10,000 on the March 2.
Verified, Spearwings 5750.
That's affirmative. We're Spearwings 5750, 8.8, climbing 10,000, March 2.
Spearwings 5750, regional departure ident.
Ident, Spearwings 5750. Hold on, we're going to autopilot 1 on. There's the flash. Speed alt star, leveling 10,000.
Spirit 5750 over to contact 3 miles correction southeast of Trex intersection, climb maintain 17,000.
Climb maintain 17,000, Spirit 5750. 17 blue,
Spirit
Triscon, open
5750,
climb.
maintain 300 knots or greater for spacing.
300 or greater for spacing, we'll do it, Spirit 5750. Alright, got a lot of stuff going on here. Donos, all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna, hold on, let me fly the airplane first. I don't know why I keep dropping out my frames.
Subscriber ahead. Look
We'll
up.
do 330. Something's going on with my frame drop. We're at a 10,000. Man, everything happened really fast there. Ding the flight attendants. I don't know what's going on. My frames. I'm looking for a tank fest here. Alright, let's get back to it here. Cam coming in with a $20 bomb. Thank you so much, Cam, for that $20 donation. I appreciate it. He says, Captain, awesome work as always. 2 questions. 1, how do you convert Celsius to Fahrenheit when making cabin announcements? And 2, how do you determine if you are max landing weight or not in case of emergency? Well, the first question, very easy. I use my iPad. I go over to the little search function and I just type in 33C, and then it automatically converts it to Fahrenheit for me. That's how I do it. And then I also know 25C is 75 Fahrenheit, just as a reference point. And your second question, how do you determine if you're over max landing weight? Well, we have all our max landing weights memorized where I work. So we're in a 319 now, 137, 788. So we would be just slightly over, gross weight 141.2. I don't know what's going on with my frames, guys. I don't want to just reconnect. I guess I don't know if I got a double scenery or something right here. It has a really bad frame. Let me pull up sound 3D again here. This is really loud wind noise. Yeah, my frames are pretty bad. I don't know what's going on. Something's going on. Chief Sim Pilot, what's going on, man? Welcome to stream. Says Cam on average multiplied by 2 at 30 on average. Yeah, that's a good way to do it as well. Ran cool. I miss your dono as well. Coming in with a $20 donation as well. Rand, thank you so much, man. I figured as a Spirit driver today, you would need more Jack Daniels. Thanks, my friend, for your dedication and hard work. Hey, Rand, I appreciate it. I got a little JD right here next to me. So I appreciate that very, very much, sir. Closing out the night here with you guys, closing out the week Friday. It's been a heck of a week. Been a pretty crappy day for myself on a personal level, so it feels good to wrap it out or finish it up with you guys tonight on stream. So I appreciate the support. Now I don't know. Yeah, frames. I don't know what's going on. Like this is showing locked at 20, but. Well, let me do some investigation here on my end. I got that up.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
What is my task manager doing? I mean, nothing is maxed out. My CPU is at 40. My memory is good. My GPU is at 38%. That's pretty good for a 1070, not gonna lie. So I don't know what is going on here. I'm gonna, one more time, I'm gonna try to connect. Is he gonna be pissed if I try to connect?
Fort Worth departure, American 2341, requesting IFR clearance. American 2341, DFW clearance request. Spare wings 56, 56, spare wings 56, out of here.
Somebody's getting yelled at.
56 is with you right now.
Alright, 6 times, spare wings 56, runway 17 right, R&A tracks, runway 17 right, clear for takeoff.
That's Christian getting yelled at. KJ, what's going on? Can I see your comments? Absolutely, man. What did I miss?
Clear for takeoff, RNF track, Spirit wings 56.
So you have the 757 in sight off the departure end.
We're leveling 17,000. I'm gonna let him finish.
56, maintain visual separation.
I'm gonna let him finish talking,
Spirit wings 56.
and then we'll report in again at 17. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna ident.
Spirit wings 812, maintain 300 knots or greater, leading 10,000.
We'll help this guy out. We're leading the pack. We'll do 340 on the speed. I may be out of his airspace anyway, but
898, regional departure to contact altitude. 50,000 area 898.
American 898, contain 17,000. Spare wings 1447, rolling 1 turn right,
I don't
left
think
away.
anything's taking it, right? I think we're all right.
Spare wings 1447, DFW, tag rolling 1 turn right.
So now
left
we're at
away.
32. So I don't know what happened. I must have gone over a corrupt zone or something. But we're gonna need higher because we're gonna.
Spare wings 56, you rolling? rolling, Spirit wings 56. Spare wings 1447, report company, but Airbus A319.
I'm gonna turn this down a little bit, but this
Airbus A319.
this radio communication just kind of epitomizes, I think, what's happening with Spirit in real life right now. Controller's frustrated, everyone's flustered. I'm dropping in and out of the coverage area. Jeez. Dara Dirmati, thank you so much for the 20 euro donation. It says, love your streams, man. Dara, thank you so much for your contribution. I really appreciate that. Look at that ortho, though, right? Fork Boy HD.
American 2256.
Dougal. $20. Dougal, thank you so much for your support, man. That's number one. I can't believe you're up as late as you are. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate that. He says a little more for the JD for the office. Great to have you back. We've missed you. Dougal, thank you so much. I've missed you guys. And I can't wait for the massive giveaways that are going to be going off here probably next week sometime, courtesy of Simwings, which is all Dougal. So Dougal started the idea, got it going, and now as they're wrapping up the project and closing the project, they are reallocating some of the funds and the donations that you guys gave to them. And multiple streamers, I know XP72 is doing it, Q8's doing it, I believe Shaq is doing it. I'm going to be doing it as well, and we're going to have one more final ride in the Simwings aircraft. So, thank you so much, Dougal, for your support. Do you think you can demonstrate a proper by the whole book in this baby? It's been a while. Dimitri, I sure can. I need to get higher first, though. We need to get out of here. I'll show you how to do it, and then I'll actually do it. Oh, I think that's the center. Fort Worth Center. 3517. Okay, there we go. So that's the center. I figured I'd fly into his center. 3517. Thanks for the ATC tower controller. Sorry that I kind of botched everything for you. Fort Worth Center, good afternoon. Spirit Wings 5750, level 17,000, requesting higher. Ident, Spirit Wings 5750.
Spirit 5750, ready to contact 50 miles northwest of Great County, Columbia, level 370.
Palma, maintain flight level 370, Spirit Wings 5750. Alright, 370 is blue, thrust climb, open climb, and we are on our way. Let's do a flyby shot here as we accelerate and get out of here. Can I do an office tour and face reveal? So I've got an idea for some podcasts, like some actual face podcasts. I've had some face reveals. There's mostly for my members. I've uploaded images and stuff. But maybe for the members I'll be doing. I have an idea for some podcast information that I want to do, so might have a camera for that. Right now the office is very blank. I'm looking at 4 blank walls and a file cabinet in my desk, so nothing exciting to see here at the V1 HQ as of late, but we're going to change that. Tower ditched you, Christian? When do you put your hand back on the throttle after V1 to put it in the climb detent? Is it when you see the acceleration, put it in the climb detent? So, Rex, good question. Rolling down the runway as a captain. Let's go ahead and set standard for STDs for you and me, 1, 2, and 3. As a captain, your hand's always on the throttle. Even if it's the FO's leg to fly, your hand is on the throttle because it's your decision as the PIC to reject the takeoff. Now, that may be different as you go across countries and continents and airlines, but I won't even say countries in the U.S. because as far as every operator in the U.S. that I'm aware of, unless it's a corporate gig or 135, as far as airlines go, they're all the same here in the U.S., where the captain is the only one with his hands on the thrust levers during the takeoff roll, even if the FO is flying. Now, after V1, your hands are removed from the thrust levers, and you're going to rotate positive rate gear up is when I put my hands back on the thrust levers. And I guard the thrust levers and I guard the flight controls with either side stick and thrust levers below 2,500 feet. So whether I'm climbing out, I got my hands on the thrust levers the whole climb out until 2,500, and then on the descent, as soon as we hit 2,500 feet, I put my hands on them, and so you're always shadowing the controls at 2,500 feet or below. All right, Dimitri, want to see holds real quick? I'm not going to actually execute one, Dimitri, but let's say we needed to hold at Sawmill, Sierra Whiskey Bravo. So a hold is a lateral revision, right? So lateral is always on the left, vertical is on the right. I would hit SWB, I would select hold. Now, I can do a computed hold, or I can manually input whatever hold I want. So if ATC said, I need you to hold on the 270 inbound to Sawmill with left turns, and you could change this to time or distance. Let's say I want 20-mile legs. Boom, that's what I could put it in. And now if I go to plan mode and I zoom this in, it doesn't quite draw it out very well, but I'll go to flight plan. In the real airplane, it would draw this out perfectly as indicated here in the hold. Now, this is kind of a weird little hold symbol, but that's how you would do it, Dimitri. And I'm going to just erase that. But that hold page, if there's a computed hold, what a computed hold is if we look at our charts here, since we no longer need, let's do a checklist here. Let's be good pilots. Let's do aft takeoff checklist. Gears up, flaps retracted. Bleeds and packs are set, APU is off, right? Yep, that looks good. Aft takeoff checklist complete. Let me close out this. We don't need that. We don't need that. Let's just load up Tampa since they were going. So let's talk about computed holds. What are computed holds? Where does that come from? Most common, you're going to see them on arrivals. You can see them on approaches too. But I think we're on, what are we on, the Rays? Let's see if the Rays has any. So, perfect. So Rays has a computed hold, well, theoretically, of a, what's that, 270 outbound, so a 090 inbound at 10 miles at 10,000 feet. So theoretically, if I did that same thing, I go here, and I scroll down to Rays intersection, and I go hold, and I press computed. Look at that, 090 right turns. It's exactly what this shows. The only thing that is not computed correctly is the time distance. So then what I would have to do here is manually put 10 DME, and then that would be a computed hold. So that's what computed is. And I showed you how to do a hold on a waypoint, so we'll erase that. And then let's just say you needed to say ATC came on and said, I need you to hold present position. So that one's very simple. You just go L1, hold, and you just put the, actually this is a little bit different, but see how it says hold at P pause? So you would just put your heading, whatever your inbound heading is now, which for us is 093. I could put 093 there, and we would hold at our current position. So those are the three types of holds that you can get. You got your P-PODs hold, that's always going to be L1 and L1 only. You got your waypoint hold on a lateral revision, so any of these waypoints. And then you have your computed hold on the arrival or the approach. So those are your three options for holding. I'm going to dial us back to 330 or else we're probably going to run out of gas. 7.9, we're looking good. We've got plenty of gas actually. Let's come here and enjoy some engine views. Who was that? Elite A, thank you so much for the $1 donation, man. He says, congrats on getting the streams going again. Looking forward to the next podcast and DCS content. Might be a little minute for DCS, again, because I have to make some room for on my PC, but I appreciate the support, man. Thank you very, very much. Alright, so now that I totally ignored you guys for the last 10 minutes explaining holds, let me catch up with the chat. Let's see, that was a good question. Have I ever played Microsoft Flight Sim before? Yes, I was actually supposed to stream the fly-by-wire mod today, and I really wanted to. However, we're about to get over some non-ortho area here temporarily. And I just had some issues with my computer and stability, and I didn't want to fly the airplane with unstable in case it crashed on stream, because that fly-by-wire mod, when I look at that airplane, and I know we're all excited for the Phoenix to come out, and I'm excited for the Phoenix to come out as well. And I think competition is good for the consumer, right? You got two people going out. Now they're making different airplanes. You got a Neo and then you have a CEO. But
Running 5750, save on Denver.
let's see. Mach number. No, we're doing 8-1 Spirit Wings 5750.
Alright, Spirit Wing 5750, maintain Mach point 80 for now.
Roger that, we'll pull it back, maintain Mach 80, Spirit Wings 5750. He didn't get my joke, I don't think. Looks like it's going to be a smooth ride. Let's go ahead and kill the seatbelt sign. Make a little PA. What was I saying? Oh. About the fly-by-wire of the Phoenix. Yes, I'm excited for the Phoenix. Competition is good for the consumer. But when I flew the fly-by-wire mod today, even though my sim crashed a couple times, I only got up to I didn't even get to cruise before I crashed. I was able to push off the gate, and I had issues getting my controls working again. And you guys know how it is. Anytime setting up a sim, if you haven't been in it for a while, it takes a while to get everything, all your peripherals set up. And I'm just looking around the fly-by-wire mod, and I see the fly pad that they have. I see all the changes that have been made, and the sounds from frickin' Boris on that fly-by-wire 320 are arguably some of the best sounds I've heard in a flight sim. So I am completely blown away by the progress that airplane has made, because I remember the first time I flew the default 320 in the FS 2020, and I was like, this is junk. And I shouldn't say junk. It's not what appeals to me. I know there's going to be people that it appeals to, and that's fine, and that's awesome. But in my personal quest for flight simulation enjoyment, I don't get it out of default airplanes. So I saw how much progress was made on that fly-by-wire mod, and I just wanted to make sure it was a smooth stream. I want to get my stuff set up properly, so I didn't want to rush it and then have a bad stream with it, because I really think those guys deserve a lot of credit for the progress that they have done on that airplane. Captain Tommy, appreciate being adored. Sorry. Dougal. Dougal. And Chad, I got to bail. Have a great trip next if you want to speak soon. Dougal, we will have a good one, my friend. Thank you for staying up late. Get some rest, Dougal. Get some rest, my friend. Papa Tango, thank you so much for the $5 bomb. He says you should fly NKS 306. It leaves Las Vegas at 6:26 and lands Columbus at 10:20. It's a red eye. No, thank you, sir. Have you flown that route in real life? I cannot say I've flown Las Vegas to Columbus, so it's a red eye in real life. I have not, but that sounds pretty brutal. I try to avoid red eyes if I can, but unfortunately, as my my seniority has kind of pushed down a little bit since everybody's back from their COVID leave, I might be getting some soon. But I've been able to avoid them for the last 2 months recently. So, but I'm seeing a lot of them popping up on the scheduling red eye trips. But I try not to fly red eyes if I can. There you go. Captain Tom's got the link for vSpirit. Let's talk a little bit about vSpirit real quick. So now that we're in this mode here, actually, let's go outside. I'm going to, we're 8.1 Mach. Everything is good here. Seatbelt sign is off. I'm going to turn down the exterior volume. I want to go over the vSpirit plugin that they got here, because I can't, for some reason, it's when I overlay it on the screen, it bugs out my mouse cursor. So let's spin this around. Let's get a nice shot of OT Design's clean livery for Spirit. Let's actually do a little bit like this. Oh yeah, that's a good shot right there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop this up. We'll turn down the volume just a little bit more. Alright, where's my VAMSys at? Talk a minute about this. I'll move it over here. There we go. Alright, so this is the ACARS, and I don't know how well you guys can see this. Hopefully you can see it okay. For some reason I feel like I'm getting a lot of artifacting on my screen. Do you guys notice that when I move my views, it fuzzes out for a minute and then it clears up? I got to work on that. I don't feel like I had that before, and it's not a bandwidth problem. I think it's something I got to tweak in Streamlabs, and I've been tweaking my bitrate up and down, but I'm still working on dialing in my stream settings again, so just bear with me on that. But so this is the VAMSys plugin that is going to run with you here when you join vSpirit, and this is the ACARS page. So this logs everything that you do. So we know this Pegasus launched using simulator, flying Toliss, IE Spirit 5. It's got the tail numbers, so they have all the tail numbers for Spirit Airlines in their system as well as some MD-80s and retro numbers. Vedic coming in with a $5 donation. Thank you so much, man. He says, made it a religious routine to watch your streams during my lunch. Question is, X Enviro worth it? Came back on X-Plane, but after FS 2020 graphics are eh. I would say if you have a powerful GPU and you're running Vulkan, you will enjoy X Enviro. But if you don't have a powerful GPU and you're not running Vulkan, you may not enjoy it, and it's a very expensive program and it is very hard on your frames. So keep that in mind. I hate just recommending something that costs as much as the simulator, and all it does is really, it's not all it does, but it does hurt your frames if you don't have a very beefy system. So pay close attention to the required equipment and GPU and processor stuff. But if you can run it, personally, I find it enjoyable. All right, back to this. So you saw all the stuff here. So VAMSys will track everything that you're doing in the sim, and vSpirit will actually award bonus points for your flight for little things. So example, vSpirit wants you to do a single engine taxi, just like a lot of carriers in the US, and I think Spirit's pretty heavy on them as well. So a single engine taxi will give you bonus points. That's why we do a single engine taxi out, and then it is sim pause, unpause. I don't know, that's because I messed up there. It tracks your flaps, and then okay, engine 2 is on at 2236. So it'll know that I single engine taxied, so I'll get bonus points for that. It knows I'm climbing out now, it knows when I raised the gear lever, when the flaps came up, and it also knows your prep time. So there's a 15-minute prep time bonus. If you're sitting there prepping for 15 minutes, it'll give you bonus points. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it really does make you kind of fly with a purpose, which as a streamer, I feel like I have a purpose a lot of the time because I'm streaming to you guys, I'm making content, I want to keep you guys entertained. But let's say I'm not going to do a stream, or maybe I want to do, just do a chill flight by myself. This will give me a reason to do things a certain way, and it keeps you in check. And I want to say something about that, about doing things a certain way. So when my first ever job as a 135 pilot, so when I first got hired flying cargo, the ground school, I was hired into a Piper Chieftain, which is a twin piston big Navajo. You probably see me fly it on streams a couple times. And we all, by that point, everybody in that class, in that new hire class going through training, we've all been around. We all had 1,500 hours of flight time. We've been instructing for a couple years. We've been in multi-engines. We know how to fly piston airplanes, right? But the instructor said something very important. And it was brought up because somebody asked a question about why do we have to do it that way when we can just do this? And the instructor made a very good point. He said, the difference between commercial aviators and pilots is that a commercial aviator will fly the plane the way his employer wants him to fly the airplane. Yes, there may be other ways to do it. Yes, there may be a different method that can accomplish the same thing, which is, I guess, what I just said. But a true professional pilot will fly the airplane the way his operator wants him to fly it. So, yeah, you don't have to single engine taxi. You could start engine 2 first, but that's not what SOPs dictate. So that's what makes you, what separates you from the men from the boys in a certain aspect, is will you fly the airplane the way your operator wants you to fly it. Now, that's one thing that I learned at a young age, flying freight, flying small airplanes. But as your career progresses, if you aren't able to fly the airplane the way your operator wants you to fly it, you will not be there long. You will not. There are other guys, there are 1,000 guys behind you ready to take your spot if you don't want to fly the way your company wants you to fly it. So that's where the whole SOP, standard operating procedure, comes in and all that stuff. But that's what this VAMSys or Pegasus, I don't know, is it Pegasus or VAMSys? It says VAMSys up here, but that's what this kind of does. It adds that level of oomph for me to fly. So cool deal with the ACARs. I hope I didn't miss a radio call. No, I didn't miss a radio call. So that's good. And then, we already went over the booking page. Just basically your basic stuff here. Altitude, passengers, your route of flight. You already saw the operational flight plan. You can dispatch through SimBrief. and it will automatically put your flight plan in here. So we got all our flight plan information. We can do our checks in here. You don't have to load it through AviTab. You still can if you want to, but it's all handy here for you on the OFP.
Envoy 5656.
And then one of the other cool things is the map. So check this out. So this is the vSpirit map. We got this gentleman going DFW Tampa as well, NKS 5970. He's way out there. This is myself right here. We've got all these other Spirit pilots here in the back. Carter Joel, there he is, bringing up the rear. Oh, nope, I guess Marley Johnson Spence is bringing up the rear, DFW to Tampa as well. So it's pretty cool. You can see all of the vSpirit pilots. So right now, we're the only ones flying. But if someone's flying out here, you'll see them, and it's only the 8 cars for your company, so, or the map for your company. So it's a pretty cool deal. I enjoy it. I think it gives you that extra drive to fly an airplane a certain way and do something a certain way and get awarded for it. And like Tom says, you do rank up via points for hours, and it will rate your landings, it will rate your approach, everything, and we'll go over the brief. If I remember, we'll go over kind of the post-flight brief. But that's, I was never a huge VA fan. I was never part of a VA because, in my opinion, what it looked like was a lot of them are very strict on when you fly, how much you fly, what airplane you can fly. And I just wasn't about that because that's what I do in real life, right? That's my day job. And it's not that that's a bad thing. It's just my personal wants or needs in a flight sim weren't really tailored around some of those types of VAs. But then when I saw Tom and them come up with the vSpirit VA, you know, they don't require you to fly X amount of hours, at least not yet anyway, you know, per month. It's just kind of a, you know, you can fly when you want. If you're going to do a Spirit flight, do it this way. And I kind of think of it as like, okay, I want to do a serious flight. I'm going to load up a vSpirit flight. I'm going to load up VAMSys. I'm going to get the ACARS track, and I'm going to do everything right. I'm going to get my departure time right. I'm going to depart on time. So it gives you that drive. Over to Unicom. Have a good one. Thanks for the ATC, Spirit 5750. See ya. Out over the Gulf we go, 22.8. Let's do a quick systems check here, shall we? Let's come down here. We're leveling cruise. We're doing 8.0. Landing with 7.9. That's good. We need a minimum of, we're 319, so we can go all the way down to 4,000 pounds. But how are we looking for our alternate gas? This is a little bit skewed. That's right. All right, let's look at our systems here. Let's go through this. Fuel used is good. There you go, Piedmont. Or you asked for one flight every 90 days? How do you join vSpirit? Tom's got the link going through. I should have posted it. I will post it if you're watching this post live. I'll try to remember to put it in the description. Smooth Ops, I missed your super chat there. I'm sorry, man. Thank you so much for the donation. I didn't see anything with the message, but I saw your comment after that. It says, your streams are very informative. I appreciate the time you take to give us a view from a real pilot life. Hey, Smooth Ops, thank you so much for your $5 donation. Very generous of you, sir. Thank you for your support. All right, let's scroll through here. Everything is green, green, green. Our fuel is pretty much balanced. We can let's move 100 pounds of fuel, shall we? So we got low on the left. So we're gonna open the cross feed valve first. And actually what I should do is pull up this eCam so you guys can watch it live. So if you ever need to move fuel in the Airbus, this is how you move fuel. Open your cross feed valve first. Turn your ignition on. So I'm turning it on right now with my thrustmaster stick. And what I mean by ignition is this guy down here. Turn your ignition on, and then we're going to do the low side tank pumps off. So our left tank is low, they're going to come off. We're going to talk about how fuel transfer works in the Airbus if you guys are interested. And we've got a master caution that is associated. Clear the caution, but I leave the eCam up to remind me that I am indeed transferring fuel. Now, well, hopefully you don't forget to transferring fuel, but it does happen. Look, it happens quick. Now we're over. We're over, so we clear that. And I actually need to go back. I wonder if I can get it to 60 pounds. It doesn't happen that fast in real life. There we go. Hey, we're 10 pounds off. That's pretty equal. Pumps off and then close the cross feed. That should be the last thing you do, or the second to last thing, and then you touch your ignition back to normal. Cross feed is complete. So we got our cross feed done. We're level 370, about to go out over the water here. All right, let's get back at it over here. Get our view set back up, get our volumes back. Captain Geo, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Geo, he says, did one flight with vSpirit. I'll be doing some more for sure, but driving an 18-wheeler, I'd be way too tired. Geo, dude, you got to get your rest, man. Driving across country, long haul, driving, this makes you tired. You need to be rested when you're on the road, man. But thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. I hope you and the family are well. And I'm actually going to be in your neck of the woods, man, for the next couple days. So, I don't know, hit me up on... well, actually, you're south, right? I'm going to be in central Florida. So, I hope you're well, man. Thank you for the support. Lauren V says, on my way to Salt Lake for the first leg of my 2-sector night. Lauren V, awesome. Good to hear it. Why does one wait to turn on second pack? So, Nick, it's for the pressurization equalization in the cabin. If you turn on pack 2 right after pack 1, it's going to be such a rapid change that you'll feel it in your ears. Now, you may have noticed this if you ever flew an MD-80 or some of the older airplanes that had slower pack valve control or not as good, not as modern. And if you ever in an MD-80 or maybe a 707 or 727 even, if they thrust it up, you would feel it in your ears first because the valves would close and you could feel the pressurization change. So that's all that does, why you wait 15, I think it's 15 seconds for us, it's in our book, 15 seconds before selecting pack 2 on, just for passenger comfort. One pack is more than sufficient to pressurize the cabin up to a certain altitude, but getting that second one on is for passenger comfort. JD Fisher, not by doing that way. So this is, we don't really have tolerance for that around here, my friend. If you want to hang out and act like an adult, that's what we support, but we don't really tolerate that. Tron, what is going on? Been a while. Tron, good to see you here. I like your little profile pic, F-14 over the water. That used to be my desktop background for a long time. Welcome, Tron. Geo says, family doing great because the new rig, I don't do long distance no more. Ah, Geo. See, that's what happens if I get my new rig built, which, I don't know, it's looking like I'm going to have a little bit of a delay here. I was hoping I'd have it much sooner, but yeah, I would probably be taking a lot of time off work or trying to figure out how to get shorter trips. But for this month, I actually picked up a lot of flying. I'm flying 94 hours this month, so I have very few days off. I start a 4-day trip tomorrow. And yeah, then I have like 2 days off or something, and then I got another 3-day trip. So I'm going to be flying all over the place. If you're a member, I'm going to start trying to be good about, you know, keeping my, at the very least, my commercial members, give them a little special update. So be sure to check the YouTube community tab. If you are indeed a member, make sure you're checking that community tab from time to time, because I like to post pictures of what's going on in real life, keep you guys updated what I'm doing. Sometimes I have polls and such for either private pilots or commercial pilots. So if you are a member, make sure you are checking that community tab from time to time. Jeremy says, have I ever driven cross country before? Oof. I never drove across the country. The farthest I've gone is from Oakland, California to Dallas, Texas. And it was brutal. Well, we actually stopped in Arizona for a night, and then we went from Arizona to Dallas. But I never made it. Yeah, that's far. Why are my engines throttling back? I'm a little nervous. Wow, it's really loud in here. Nope, we're good. Our distance from Harvey is 149 miles. I know somebody was asking that. I wonder if the sun is going to start setting here. Captain Rico, what's going on? Good to see you here, bud. Andre Henry says, does your company have a limit on how many hours you can fly per month? So, Andre, the hours and how much you can fly is actually pretty complex ever since FAA Regulation 117 was introduced after the Colgan air crash in Buffalo, New York, which was that a Q? I think it was a Q400, right? Which is coming out, FlyJ Sim. Can't wait for that airplane. But after that incident, there was a big investigation into rest rules and how many hours a pilot can fly. And it's actually got very convoluted. But as far as monthly block limits, no. But we have more of kind of a rolling, what we call 30 and 7, or however many hours is 7 days, 106. Hold on, let me look at my phone. It's so confusing that I literally look it up. Anytime I'm getting close to a rest limit, I have to look it up because it's that confusing. So let me take a quick look here. So 168. Oh no, 672 hours. So you can only have 106.72, which is a rolling block. You can only fly certain block hours per day depending on how many legs you fly and what time you report. So it's actually very convoluted. But generally speaking, once you get to 100-hour mark, you're going to be tight on something. There's going to be some regulation that's going to start biting you once you start flying over 100 hours a month. But that's a good question. Yeah, I'm flying 94 this month, I think. What am I at? Let me double check. And I flew a lot last night. Let's see, so I'm not lying. Let's see. So last month I flew 92. This month I'm at 94. And then after that, I'm done. I'm going to just coast out for the rest of the year, I hope. So we'll see. Dimitri says, a little Laminar-related birdie told me that X-Plane 12 will most likely be released towards the end of Q4 2021. Dimitri, that is coming right up, dude. I am... Okay, so I know everybody's pumped about FS 2020, and if you guys don't watch the Blue Experience podcast on XP72 and Blue Games, you should check it out. They talk a lot about Microsoft and X-Plane, and they bring up a lot of good points. I know everybody's pumped for FS 2020. I am too. I think it looks great. But without the fly-by-wire Mod 320, I'm not flying that simulator unless I'm doing GA stuff, which is great for GA stuff. My peak interest at this moment in time is X-Plane 12, or like, I guess it's like next generation of X-Plane, right? So we already have the airliners. We already have the fidelity in X-Plane. Imagine bumping it up to that next gen and seeing those previews. It sure does have me pretty excited about what's around the corner. I don't know if you feel the same, Dimitri, but I mean, I know you're kind of like me. You like to get into the nitty-gritty and fly by the book and understand procedures, so I can imagine that X-Plane is still probably near and dear to your heart. But I'm excited about the next generation of X-Plane. I really am. And you've got the Q400 coming out. I am so pumped for that airplane. When I got hired at Republic, I had a choice of going into the Q400 or the Embraer. And like an idiot, you know, shiny jet syndrome, I was already flying turboprops, so I wanted to go right into the jet, and I did. I went right into the Embraer, but I kind of, looking back, I'm like, man, it would have been nice to fly that Q400 around a little bit. I had guys that flew the Q400 because they shut the program down eventually, and everybody transferred over. And I would talk to guys about the Q400 and all the quirks and everything, and I've deadheaded on them. I've jump-seated on them. So I'm very excited for that airplane to come out. I cut my teeth on turboprops. That was my first one of my first turbine PIC experiences. Well, no, that's not true. The Citation was, but turboprops are awesome to fly in real life. They are so much fun, and I tell my buddies, you know, if somebody gave me a King Air 200 Blackhawk engines, paid me the same schedule, I would be just as happy flying that probably for the rest of my career as I would an airliner. But I love the PT6. I know the Q400 is not a PT6, but just turboprops in general are a lot of fun to fly. Ram Cooley says, if you have notifications on, do you get notified automatically? Notified for what? Don't I miss, Dimitri? Or Ram? Notifications for what? Gio, you said you did a cross-country 18-wheeler New York to Cali. Oh, my gosh. 4.5 days, 10 hours of sleep every day, and 11 hours drive time. That's, Gio, you got to have a good podcast or something to listen to, right? What do you do for that much time, man. That's brutal. After 3 hours in the cockpit, man, I'm ready to get out. Do you think that Autoland will ever come to the standard loop? I'm not sure what you mean about that. Autoland is very much part of the real world. We do Autolands when the weather is all the way down. Definitely do Autolands, man. It's already there. I don't know, if it's going to be you have to do Autolands. Maybe in foreign countries, but here in the U.S., I don't see that coming. Like making you do an Autoland every time. Lauren V, never heard someone so excited to be dash trash. Lauren, I'm excited to fly it on X-Plane. I will never be excited to sit in the back of the dash trash. Trust me, I thought I was going to die a couple times in those things. But Piedmont had the Q, it wasn't the 400, it was like, what, the 200 or 100? Oh, man. They're nasty to fly in sometimes, especially in the summertime. No air conditioning. But I'm excited to fly it on X-Plane. Jeremy says, imagine the Zebo in X-Plane 12. That'll blow your mind. Yeah, I think it would. I think it will, Jeremy. Little patch of ortho, non-ortho area here until we get out. Should be going over the water here pretty soon. I'm not sure why we have to check the map here in a second. Love those big IAE motors in the bag. I know you guys like CFM, but man, the IAE engines look so good on the Airbus. Dimitri says I hit the nail on the head. Looking at grass blades and finding my house in the sim is cute, but X-Plane 11 is one-way street for me now until planes worth flying come to Microsoft Flight Sim. Absolutely. I'm with you, man. Huh. You guys like this livery? I kind of like this clean, the clean black on there. Oh, your community posts. Rand, yeah, absolutely. If you do have notifications off of the channel, you will get notifications of the community posts. So I'll be sure to post one tomorrow. I think hopefully my coffee shop will be open. I think I'm going in late afternoon, so I got some time to sleep in. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. It should be interesting. Gio, you listen to Lee Brent or Les Brown and have Zillow to chat fellow drivers. Nice. I figured you had to have something to listen to, Gio. Random question. Anybody a Pat McAfee fan in chat? Pat McAfee, Sports Talk Radio? What's my favorite long-haul Airbus? A350, man. I pulled into one. What was it? Yesterday? Did I fly yesterday? I think I did. Really? Yeah, I flew yesterday. Wow. Yeah, yesterday I came in and we parked next to an A350. Beautiful airplane, man. I think the A350 has such an astonishing ramp presence. If you can see them online and images on Google, but when you see an A350 on the ramp, it blows the 787 out of the water. That's the one airplane where I will admit that I think Airbus got right as far as looks go. I'll take the A350 any day over the 78. But as far as long haul goes, yeah, A350. A340 is cool too. I'm excited. I don't know much about the A340. It wasn't a very popular airplane, at least here in the U.S. So I'm excited to see what Toliss brings to the table with that 340. But Dimitri says, do you have to be doing a Cat 2 or Cat 3 to autoland? So you can, theoretically, Dimitri, you can autoland the Airbus off a Cat 1. Now, when the autoland is a very complex and, how do I say this, encompassing operation that you have to do as a crew. It's not just as simple as turning on the second autopilot and letting the airplane land. We have, everybody used to say Cat 3C or Cat 3A. That's all gone by the wayside now. There's new terminology coming out, a lot like how RNP and RNAV and GPS is all convoluted right now. Autoland's the same way with Cat 3 approaches. So now they're all going to be Cat 3 fail operational or fail passive. That has to do with do you have any inoperative systems working on the airplane or not working on the airplane? What are your minimums? Do you have an alert height? So there's a lot of other things that come into factor of what you can actually do, but theoretically the Airbus will autoland off a Cat 1. So you just have to, there's more there's more to it than just what we see in X-Plan or in any flight sim. Really, it comes down to your company procedure. And I flew at companies where Cat 2, you had to do a manual landing. So a Cat 2 approach, 50-foot alert height, or actually a 50-foot decision height, because you had to do a manual landing. And that was one of the hardest things for me to do. I remember doing one in Boston, but you would train in the sim for it all the time every time you went back for a current. But I remember doing a Cat 2 and a 175 into Boston. And the Cat 2 approach, it was at 50 feet. It's like 50 feet, and it's runway or go around. That's it. It was you either see something or you're going around. You have to have some visual reference. And he called runway. I looked up, and imagine being at that point, you have to be, the captain is literally looking at his instruments the entire approach, monitoring the status of the aircraft and the automation. The FO is looking outside the entire approach, waiting for a visual reference, because we have to have a visual reference to land at that particular company. So at 50 feet, to transition from staring inside and looking at your PFD to looking up and flaring and landing the airplane was a very, how do I say this? There was a pucker factor to it when you were especially at minimums. And I remember this one time in Boston, man, we were getting, normally when it's low vis, it's calm. Not the case on this approach. We were getting kicked around left and right, very bumpy, and 50-foot runway. I look up, I'm like, holy shit. There's I saw edge lights and just a little bit of flare, and boom, we're on the ground. Now, the Airbus, that will depend on operator, right? You can do that in the Airbus as well, but some operators may want you to auto land off a Cat 2. So if you do a Cat 2 approach, they may require auto lands off of Cat 2. So it all comes down to the operator and then their SOPs and how they have it laid out, and the equipment on the aircraft. I think there can be some equipment advantages if you have a HUD or if you don't have a HUD. A couple other things that may come into a factor for if you're going to actually auto land it or manually land it. But that's a loaded question. I could pull up the auto land section in my book and we could talk for a day. What's the difference between Cat 1 and Cat 3? Again, Luke, very loaded question. Cat 1 is going to be your highest minimum. So you're going to have, theoretically, you have to see something a lot sooner, 200 feet as an example. Where Cat 3, theoretically, you don't have to see anything. You could land at 0-0 Cat 3. Cat 1, you got to see something. And Dimitri says, of course, you have to have an airport capable of Cat 2 or Cat 3. That is true. And not necessarily airport, Dimitri, runway. So it's a runway specific. Some runways are limited to Cat 2. So you have to be very, very careful about that. And even if it's Cat 3, there may be a NOTAM or a notice to airmen that says, hey, this runway currently, as of between this time and this time, is Cat 2 only. So you got to make sure you check the NOTAMs. It could have a lighting system out. It depends on the type of lighting that's at the runway. So there's a lot of different factors. It's something that we all kind of glaze over in flight sim, because as simmers, you really never are going to need any of the other additional information. However, as pilots in real life, there's a lot of additional information that you need and that's required to conduct an auto land or a low visibility approach. How does being an ATP affect your relationship with your spouse or girlfriend and kids? That's a good question. A lot of older gentlemen, as I progressed through my career, would always tell me you're not a pilot until you had at least one divorce. There is a lot of divorces and a lot of multi-marriage people that I meet in the aviation industry, because it is hard on your spouse or your significant other when you're on the road and then you come home and your spouse has been with the kids all week, but you've been working all week, but your spouse doesn't want to be with the kids. It can create tension. You have to have the right relationship. That's all I'll say. And I've been very fortunate with my wife. She has been very supportive of me. I met her pretty early on in my career, so she has definitely been through a lot with me. She kind of knows the routine by now, and you get in routines. When COVID was hit and I took 3 months off or whatever, and I was home all the time, it was an adjustment to being home all the time. And then when I went back to work, she was sad and couldn't believe I was going back to work. So it's an adjustment, but you just have to have the right relationship. and you got to make time for each other. So if you remember to make time for each other, know there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs, no pun intended, you're going to be all right. But it's hard. There's no sugarcoating it. Rex, do I agree that some controllers on Pilot Edge are worthless? I was just trying to practice before my first solo cross country, and he was an absolute A. No help at all, but some are amazing. Rex, I mean, I've had some run-ins with some guys, or just one guy in particular on Pilot Edge. I think it's a good training tool, but you gotta be ready to be... it's a hard topic for me to talk about. I haven't been on Pilot Edge in a long time. When I get some time off, we'll be able to do some more pilot edging, flying on the West Coast, because I do like it. It's a good tool. But yeah, there are times where there are personalities on Pilot Edge that can be a little over the top, which is in contrast to real life controllers. 99% of the time are all there to help you. Now, if you mess up, they're going to call you out. I mean, and it depends on what your equipment you're flying too. I mean, the one controller talking to a 172 trying to get a VFR transition through Bravo airspace, probably going to have a different attitude than, you know, a Spirit Airbus coming in the middle of rush hour with everybody else. So there's going to be different levels of expectation, but for the most part, they're there to help you. And from what I gather from my buddy who's a controller, you know, he says that, you know, you can actually get in trouble if you let your attitude get in the way. So. Tom, yeah, Captain Tom nailed it. Captain Tom, I thought you weren't going to be around tonight, man. I thought you were going out partying. What's up with that? It sounds like my engines are coming back to idle, doesn't it? Well, it's just a wind shift. Is the radar on? Auto, boom. Yeah, it's on. Not painting anything. Getting out over Harvey here. We're about to go feet wet. I like that view we had right there. It's kind of juice with the clouds in the background. Alexandra Bellini coming in with a 54 donation. Thank you so much for the donation. It says, "What's man? You should do more podcasts." Very funny. Very funny cockpit confessionals. Aliens. Toilet brown alert. Kawana Mundi. Traffic guard. Yes, I had a fish strike once flying here in Brazil. A fish strike? I want to hear more about a fish strike, man. Are you flying something on floats or something? That's wild. Brazilian, rupee. Thank you so much for your donation and your support. I thank you for watching those podcasts as well. Glad you're enjoying the content. Yeah, for those that don't know, for all my members, I do a podcast every 2 months. So August, yeah, we should be, our actual official podcast will here be in August. I did kind of a bonus one last month. But we talk a couple things, X-Plane, try to talk some real-world aviation stuff, and then I always do what I call the cockpit confessional, where I tell a story or a situation that happened to me along my career. Sometimes some are funny, some are scary, some are dramatic-ish, I guess. But thank you for your support. Really appreciate that. I'm going to have to hear more about that fish strike. That's something that's very interesting. Just the same thing as trucking. That's one of the reasons I decided to be home with the wife and kids with 2 boys. Yeah, Gio, it really is. You know, flying and trucking are very similar in a lot of ways. I mean, you've got brutal schedules. You're away from home. You got long hours doing a monotonous task that can kill you in a heartbeat if you lose it, right? I mean, driving in general isn't very hard. Flying in general isn't very hard, but you lose focus, something happens, something bad can happen very quickly. So that monotony and the complacency builds in. So there's a lot of similarities between long haul trucking and flying, absolutely. But that's what a lot of guys ask me, do you want to go fly wide body, long haul? Maybe if I was 21, but I never I never really had that drive. That wasn't my goal. You know, I just loved flying. I loved aviation in general. And then I wanted to compile that with a good family life. So staying as home as much as I can, but also flying. So doing, you know, day trips or turns, or, you know, just going out for a couple days and coming back. It's, you know, a 4-day trip is a lot easier on someone than going out for a week and coming back, having a few days off and going out for another week. So it's all balance, right? It's all what you're after. Now, I know there's guys that's what they live for, is the long haul, and that's totally fine. But like I've been saying, 3.5 hours in the cockpit, I'm about ready to get out. I mean, it's doing a transcon in general, or going to Lima. I mean, we have some, where I work, we got some long hauls. I wouldn't say long haul, but we have some long flights. I mean, 7 hours, 6 hours. That's a long time to be in the cockpit. So I get antsy after about 3.5. Yannick Murray, what's going on? Welcome. As much as I love Anthony, I said, how the hell do you get a fish strike? Yeah, I got to know more about that. Brazilian real. Did I say rupee? Sorry. Real. That was bothering me. I knew I was wrong. Real. I'm so bad at currency. I got to get better at that. Thank you again for your support, man. What did I read a comment here I was going to answer. Now I get lost it. Oh, as much as I love flying, do you ever get bored? Absolutely. Yeah, it happens, man. It's part of the job. But, you know, they pay me money to monitor an airplane, and you're really up there for when things don't go right. So you got to keep that in mind. And if anything, my latest situation, or my emergency that I did have, which I talked about with my members, it's kind of a reminder that you know, this is real life here. There is stuff that happens. It's not like just firing up X-plane and, you know, not having to be in the cockpit because you're not worried about any repercussions. Micah says, V1, could you please explain the process of starting engine 2 during a single engine taxi? So Micah, you don't want to start engine 2 during a single engine taxi because your hydraulic system in the Airbus, I mean, you can do it, but what's going to happen is your yellow pump, or your PTU, your power transfer unit, is going to have to be running the entire taxi out. So you're going to hear that barking sound in the cabin the whole way out. And you don't have any redundancy. If you start engine 1 first, you have redundancy in braking and nose wheel steering, and you have the yellow electric pump to keep the PTU from operating. So not only is it quiet for the passengers, you have a redundancy should you lose a hydraulic system, and it makes more sense because it's engine number 1, right? So Airbus would have named it number 2 if they wanted you to start that one first. Now, if you don't single engine taxi, the argument can be made about the parking brake and the accumulator pressure, so I understand that. As from what I get from European operators, single engine taxi is not very common, or at least it's not as common as it is here in the States. It's very common for us. I do it almost every leg if I can, you know, if you know it's going to be a long line or whatever, we always single engine. At least my technique is I like to say, let's start one, let's get rolling, and then we'll take a look, see what it looks like. So start engine 1, get out of the alleyway, clear the traffic. That way other planes can push off the gate, they can get other planes into the gate, and I'm out of the way, and then we'll start engine 2. Now, if it's a real short taxi, if I know it's a short taxi, then I'll start 2. Yes, you can have bourbon on X-plane. That is absolutely true, and it is it's a huge plus. All right. Gina Hoffman gets antsy after 3.5 hours. The times I've flown to Japan, 11 hours, I was going nuts. Yeah, I'd go nuts. I did Sydney to LA. I think that was 16 hours on a 7.4. That was brutal. Maybe it wasn't quite 16. It felt like 16. And then I did LA, was it LA to Fiji? Ah, brutal. Brutal. I've had a couple long hauls. Whoa, it's really loud in here. Turn you down a little bit. Let's take a look, see what's going on here. What we're going to do here is we are going to cut the corner. We're going to go direct to charge. Boom. Direct charge. How about a flyby? So out here over Harvey, or just past Harvey, these are all oil rigs out here in the Gulf. And when you fly this route at night, if they're lit up, they normally are lit up too, but if they're burning off, you'll see the flames. Pretty cool sight. I actually had a friend that have you guys ever seen the movie Deepwater Horizon? So he was flying a red-eye from Las Vegas to Miami. And that was the same night that the Deepwater Horizon blew up. And he said that over Houston, or prior to Houston, they could see this enormous glow on the horizon. Everybody was asking about it on frequency, trying to see what was that glow, and they were trying to figure it out. And then the route that they were on, when you cross the Leeville, Harvey, Redfin, all the way out, you go right over all those oil rigs. And he said he got over the top of it, and it was just the largest fireball he'd ever seen. I mean, the whole ocean was lit up. And then he could actually see the rescue helicopters going to and from. So there was a line of choppers going to the rig, and then the guys that were going from the rig back out just across right here. So and you see all the boats out there trying to fight the fire. So he flew over the Deepwater Horizon when it blew up, and that was pretty gnarly. He showed me some pictures. It was pretty incredible to see. Sin City Simulation, member for 10 months. Congratulations, man. That is time. This support, you guys. 10 months, that's a long time. Alexander says, we were passing 2,000 feet when out of nowhere I heard this loud sound and literally saw the fish smash on the left windshield. Oh my gosh. Doing a visual approach. That's crazy, man. That's... I cannot imagine a fish strike. How do you write that up in the book? Fish strike, windshield. That's funny. Turned to the captain and said, what the hell was that? We hit a fish? That's unbelievable. Was it a flying fish? I said, very calm. It's normal here. Birds eat fish. Bird got scared with the airplane and let the fish fall from its beak. Wow. What timing. What absolute timing to hit that when you're flying. That's unbelievable, man. I would have loved to see a maintenance ride up like that. Yeah, hit fish strike. I've hit birds. I've hit a couple birds. Captain Tom says, I experienced Deepwater Horizon's aftermath. I ended up on local TV too and oil. So, Captain Tom, you did. Interesting. I'll have to look that YouTube or that. Try to see if I can find that on YouTube. Lauren V says, single engine taxi here, only been a thing in Europe the last 10, 12 years or so. A lot of the airports are too small to really merit one. Even Heathrow isn't physically that big compared to DFW. I gotcha. That would make sense. If you don't have the time on the taxi out, then there is no need to single engine taxi. And if it's contaminated runway, you guys get a lot of rain out there too, right? I mean, if it's raining, I don't single engine taxis. Just like to cover myself that way. Do you think 8 hours bottle to throttle is realistic? Me, personal minimums is 12 to 24. Yeah, John, I'm at least 12, at least minimum 12. And to be honest with you, as I've gotten older, I really don't even drink on the road that much anymore. Unless I'm flying with someone that I really like, and we have a really long overnight. But that's something that I've seen too many guys get in trouble for, and it's just not worth it. Just not worth it. Now, in my younger years, flying corporate jets around when you had multiple days off, you put it down. You definitely put it down. Flying freight, also put it down hardcore, because you had guaranteed rest of like 24 hours or something, and yeah, you put it back. But now, you know, airline stuff, the scheduling has gotten so efficient these days with modern scheduling techniques and practices that a lot of your overnights aren't really that long, and a lot of companies will actually have higher minimums than what the FAA. So the FAA is 8 hours. Some companies may have 12 or 14. You never know. It just depends on who you work for. Dimitri says, will we ever see you back in the 73200 again doing VOR, including Sid and Star, of course, in Alaska in cloud minimas or something hairy like that? I'm asking for a friend. Dimitri, we'll have to do it, man. That sounds brutal. We'll have to do it. I think the last brutal one I did was that 727 approach in the islands when we did that NDB arc. Oh no, we arced to an NDB or something and then flew at circling approach. That was hairy. But we do need to get back on the 200. I can't remember the last time I flew the 737-200. Andre Henry, yeah, take that shortcut. Christian says, ever heard of the Kawanda effect and what was that brought in aviation? Kawanda effect? No, I can't say I have, Christian. What's the Kawanda effect? I'm gonna look it up. Tom, you were 8-year-old? Oh boy. The Kawanda effect, I just looked it up, is a tendency of a fluid jet to stay attached to a convex surface. Is that like when you put the tin foil over the air vent? Is that what that is? I have seen that, if that's what you're getting at. Sin City says, just want to jump in and say hi, what's up? I'll catch up on the stream time. I hope all is well. Thank you, Sin City, for tuning in, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for your support, man. 10 months. Cheers to you, brother. Gino Hobbs says, when you're young, you're allowed to be stupid. It's a prerequisite for life experience. Exactly. Exactly. Let's actually go up front here. Can we see the sunset? Oh, just about. I'm going to cheat my view here. It's kind of a cool shot there. When am I going to fly the DC-6 Geo? When I get my Flight Sim 2020 stable, man, it took me 18 hours to get that all updated. And I think there's a hotfix out now too, right? That is out. And I'll probably have to do that one next. Once I get it all stable, man, I'll have to work at it. I also got to get a Honeycomb Bravo when they come available next time, because I want to set up my office to have a very generic flight control system. I'm going to keep the TCA Thrustmaster here as well, but I want to have the generic throttle, so I'm going to keep my SATEC stuff back at the house. Christian says, because of that discovery, they basically invented the high lift devices. Really? Interesting. Are the thrust levers hard to move when going through the detents? Aviation 24? Yes, the real airplane, it's actually very stiff. Think of it this way. Going down the runway at 140 knots, bouncing up and down, I have the full weight of my hand and my arm like pressing up against the thrust levers in the flex detent, and they don't come out. So it's, you know exactly where the detents are. There's no mistaking them. With the Thrustmaster, it's, you know, it's there, but it's very light. If your wife was an FO and you're a captain, can you make it so you work together, only work together? And also if your wife is a flight attendant, can you make it so you can do what's called buddy bidding. And yeah, you can get awarded trips together. Absolutely. Absolutely, Papa Tango. I got a friend that does it with his brother. So he's a captain, his brother's an FO, and they buddy bid. But if you marry a flight attendant, you got more problems coming. I'll tell you that right now. Probably don't want to be flying with her. Freedom BW says, I think they have the Bravo in stock in the org store. Do they really? Last I checked, I didn't think I saw any. I'll have to look again. Travis Hartman says, thanks for another great informative stream tonight. Travis, absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Why aren't you using the IAE mod? It looks so much better. Jack 58TR. I would agree with you there. But there's secrets that I can't speak of in the works that I'm getting hyped for. So no IAE mod tonight. I wanted to run the defaults. I actually was going to run the IAE mod, but there's a little something coming down the pipe that I want to get hyped for. So I wanted to see what the defaults look like again. How do you request descent wins? I can't seem to get them. At cruise, what do you normally do? A lot of good questions. Well, at cruise, we normally get descent wins. So let's come up here and let's take a look around here. Let's do another check here. I'm going to turn down the volume just a little bit. All right, so we are in TA only. Why is that? Oh, yeah, TA. All right, I guess we were in TA only. Are you guys passing me? Let's pull up the Pegasus app real quick. Let's go back to the map. Where's everybody at? Who's right on my tail? Alex Dunbar is moving. He's in a 321 Neo. .37 454 ground speed. What am I doing? I'm doing 458. So I got a 4 knots over on him. But that's cool that you can see everybody here on VATSIM, on the VATSIM map. He's doing 475. You cheater. Probably has a tailwind added to his thing. Cartage of Wool. Look at Cartage of Wool. Old Faithful over there over New Orleans still. He's doing 459. That seems realistic. How about this gentleman here bringing up the rear? Doing 476. I think they got a little wind additive there. A little bit of weather here on as we approach the coast. Should be all right though. All right, we'll go ahead and get rid of AMSYS. We don't need that right now. We're still cruising. 319 Neo mod. I actually put Carter's engines on the 319 before. And somebody mixed the sound pack between FT Sim and BSS. I flew it in Aegean. I think it was Dimitri's request. I flew an Aegean 319 Neo out there in Greece, and it was pretty awesome. I'm going to have to do it again. All right, let's go through the systems page one more time. That looks good. What's our condition like? 64. It's finally cooled down in the back, so that's actually a little chilly. So let's go ahead and let's set these about midway here. I'm in the cockpit. I like to bring it up just a little bit more. Continue to step through the ECAM here. Everything is good. Pressurization, flight control, status, beautiful. All right, so let's look at the box. I'm not necessarily sure if any of it is modeled. So data, page 2, nothing. Init winds. Wind request is not available. .220. So I want to see if this works real quick. Not allowed. Huh. So you could put them in manually, I guess, from your flight plan. Or maybe just, I'm curious. I'm going to try something here. They don't really have any wind. 206 at 2 knots, really? I'm just curious. Huh. Okay. So I guess they want you to put them in manually. But in the real airplane, you can do wind request here, you could pull it. And also what would happen is the real airplane will also be assessing the real winds and will actually modify them for you. So I know, as Demetri was saying, in the Airbus for proper VNAV, you got to go ahead and put your descent winds in, which you can pull off your OFP, your flight plan. But that would be probably the way to do it. I'll bump it up to 8-1. Hey, it's all good. No need to stay behind. I'm just giving you a hard time, man. I'll do 8-1 here. How are we doing on gas? So the fuel page is a little off too because I should be able to modify my alternate fuel, which I can't. Can I clear reserve fuel out? So we only use reserve. We don't even use. I can't even clear that out. There we go. Now I can't modify this, I imagine. It's green. So this fuel page is a little bit different than the one I'm used to. Trying to do a little modification here. See, I think this is a little bit outdated, or might be a Thales. I'm more familiar with Honeywell, so I should be able to have an alternate fuel here instead of this gross weight. I should have an alternate fuel, so I'd have extra, final, route reserve, and actually extra would be over here, and I'd be able to modify how much fuel I want to land in Orlando with my alternate. That would be a little bit more accurate, but I think we got plenty of gas here. We'll be all right. 7.4 on touchdown. We're 290 miles out. We're getting ready to start our top of descent with the sun setting behind us. Actually, there we go. Wind request works in Toliss for descent if you're closer to TUD, but only works with default weather. Ah, I got you, Christian. Thank you. Yeah, Gino Hoffman, it looks like it. Team Vodka, headed out, man. Have a good one, man. Have a good night, Friday night. Enjoy it. Hold on, is it really Rex Royce? Let me look this up here real quick. Y'all serious? Wow. Well, I'll be damned. Cam says, did you program the route in from destination to alternate in real life? So, Cam, that's another very good question. I wish I downloaded the chart separately. I didn't. Let me go back here. Charts, close it out. I don't believe I did. Now, these are my old flight plans. So if I pull up VAMSIS, so what I would do here in real life, yes, you bring up a very good point. So let's go over this. So if you have an alternate and you're tight on gas, the Airbus is going to put in your disco here, then we've got our approach, okay, then that goes to the hold, then it has end of flight plan, Tampa, then it has discontinuity, Orlando. So your fuel on board for Orlando, according to the fuel page, is going to be predicated on what you have here. If you just have a direct line to Orlando, you may actually be getting an incorrect fuel at your alternate. And if you're going to an alternate, fuel is going to become a very important issue. So what you can do is select Orlando, select arrival. I'm going to say if I go Orlando, I want to land 18 right, no star, but I'm probably going to get vectored to haul up. Insert. So now I've got a flight plan after I go missed in Tampa. I can expect radar vectors to haul up, and I can even put altitudes in there. I say I'll probably be vectored over at 8,000 feet. Put an 8,000 foot constraint in there. And now my flight plan has a alternate flight plan to the alternate, if that makes sense. So there's your missed approach, hold, St. Pete, and then it goes from Tampa, where do you want to go? And then you just go, boom, right there. And you're on your way. You have the approach already loaded. And you can put, if your flight plan has a route for you, let's say your alternate is a little bit further away and has some fixes along the line, so you can put in those fixes, you can put where you want to go, and it's exactly how you would modify that. So good question there. Glad you brought that up. But that is, we do that in real life. Good thing to bring up. Now, what I did the other day is I actually modified equi-time point. Yes, I can do it here. So Toliss has this model. I already passed my equi-time point a long time ago. But let me show you a real life example here. Maps, where we at? So we are we are already past our equitime point. We already flew past it. It's probably over here somewhere. But now that I'm over the Gulf, I really don't care about Dallas, right? I want to know my equitime point between New Orleans and Tampa, which we're probably already past it as well. But let's see if it's not. So I'm going to do data, equitime point, and I'm going to change this to MSY. And it's already been sequenced. So you see we've already passed it. But if it wasn't, you'd see it move. It would shift your ETP. So even between New Orleans and Tampa, if I have a problem, I know I'm just going to continue to go to Tampa. Now you also have the closest airport functions. Here we go. This would be a very good thing. I could put MSY. What I would do, I'd put MSY here. So yeah, MSY is 217 miles away. So it's probably not the best alternate at this time, but I'd have to see. Was this Panama City? I'd have to see what the other airports are, and of course you would talk to dispatch, but that's how you modify your ETP. For just test here, I want to put AAF in there. Let's go data, equitime point, KAAF. $99 miles. So I think it's already sequenced out, right? 97 miles. No, I guess it would be out there, but I don't see it. Interesting. And then if you just want to clear it out, you clear it right here. Brings back the original OG equitime point. But that's how you modify equitime point. All right. Good question. 246. Let's actually start prepping for a descent. Oh man, it's really pretty outside though. Maybe we won't do it. Look at this. Golden hour of X-Plane right here. Real time, real weather. Oh, it just got brighter. What the heck? I was just starting to enjoy that sunset. Andre says Miami Center's asking us to space out between Tampa arrivals. Message from Miami Center. He said the Congo line should space stuff out prior to getting there. He's the only one on. Miami Center says everyone needs to space out a little bit. All right. Thoughts on the 7-3 in Pero? So I did watch that. I could not believe that landing. My favorite part of that whole landing in Pero, bank angle check. Like, that's not a check, man. You don't check a bank angle call out. So I thought he said, bank angle check. Bank angle check. I started cracking up. I have no words for that. I have no words. Sarah says, so virtual airlines have virtual SOPs. Are they pretty close to real SOPs? What extra do you have to do? Yes, Sarah, so there are SOPs for different virtual airlines. And I don't, unless you work for the airline, I won't be able to say how close they are to the real airline, or you won't really know, but I think they strive to make them as close as possible. And yeah, they can record them. That's what's cool about the plugin that vSpirit uses, is they've tailored already some really simple things, but they do make a big difference. Single engine taxi, engine warm-up time, engine cool-down time. You gotta have your 3-minute cool-down time before you shut engines down. Minimal APU use, pre-flight time. So all those things are increasing realism. Oh, there's our call. Said Miami Santa, contact me on 3517. Yes, sir. Oh, look, it's already set up. Miami Center, good evening. Spare wings 5057 370. Are we 5057?
5750,
Oh.
right on contact, 60 miles north, west-north.
Oh, I love this guy.
Nimbus intersection. Cross Rays, had to maintain 10,000 at 250 knots, temp altimeter 3007.
Raised 10,250 knots, and that's my apologize. We are Spear Wings 5750. Thanks, sir. I love this guy. This controller is freaking awesome. 250 at 10,000 at raise. We got to start setting up for the approach. It's already set. Must be on the arrival. It's already set. 250 at 10.
Maintain 3,000.
So I'm going to set 10,000. This dude sounds so legit. I've had them before.
1987, descend and maintain 8,000.
All right, so top of descent's overcharged. Let's do our A game here. Let's go ahead and clean it up. Let's. Oh, yeah, that's actually the approach arrival we need. So charge dog out of below 210. Theoretically, we don't need that in there, but it's not going to hurt. We have raised at 10,000 feet. That is set.
502 Bravo Juliet.
We've got 10,000 blue.
Wind 130 at 6.
After that, we're going to transition over to Tampa, and what are the winds down there? 198.8, so we are going to be landing southbound. So I got to put 18 right in there. Or I'm sorry, 19 right.
76, climb and maintain flight level 350.
Raise. Make sure it doesn't change. Now let's verify this.
82 Charlie, hold short, aircraft on.
This burned me before, so let's verify all our fixes here. Not database, get out of here. Alright, charge. Dog out of below 21. Raise at 10,250 knots. High dose, check. CBOS. Look, it's trying to screw me again. Altitude. The transition is incorrect.
Radar service terminated, frequency change route to have a great landing in
So the real airplane would adjust that for you. Approach via
5970, Tampa, altimeter 3007, expect vectors ILS runway 19 right approach.
Altimeter 307, we'll expect vectors.
How do I get it to go north? After Seabass, no, it should go high dose to Bade. Alright, we're gonna have to put it in manually. It's not transitioning like it should. The real airplane will automatically transition to the correct arrival for you. So this is how I got violated on Pilot Edge before. So I'm gonna have to manually put this in. After high dose, it's Bade.
To the west of charge, flight level 370.
Wings 1035, radar contact as reported. Cross raise and maintain 10,250 knots, Miami altimeter correction. Tampa altimeter 3007.
Bayad
307 down to 10 and 250 at charge for 1035.
T-A-H.
That's 10 and 250 at raise.
Yeah, I think
And then,
I think
and
that's
then
10
venue.
for 1035.
We're going to insert that. And then I'm going to delete
FedEx
Seabass.
9384, heavy, cleared to Indianapolis International
delete
Airport via the wind code 2, departure then is 5, maintain 5,000, expect flight level 360, 10 minutes after
Delete
departure.
Buggo.
Departure frequency 135.17, squawk
Elmo.
4606.
We'll keep
Read
that
back
in
to me,
there.
please.
Insert.
Just your transponder code only.
That looks a little funky at fatty, but we'll keep the venue. We'll keep that. We'll keep that like that. Looks a little funky, but
correct, push and start
that'll
at pilot
work.
discretion. Advise ready to taxi. Expect departure runway 8 right. November 82 Charlie, RNAV to Sonoy, wind 130
Gonna get one on the right? Yeah, that's what I expected.
November 502 Bravo Juliet, taxi at your discretion to the terminal of your choice. You can cross runway 12.
Wow.
Or can we go to the right a couple miles?
One Shot Racing says I'm an hour from Tampa. If you need a ride, thank you, One Shot. I appreciate it.
2690, turn left heading 270.
Why is this guy so good? I don't know. It's his voice sounds very similar to a real controller that I know or that I've been on frequency with.
2690, turn left heading 270.
Yeah, but his voice is spot on to someone that I've talked to many times on the radio. Oh yeah, how about that shot? That looks cool right there. That is the juice, my friends. That is the juice. All right, I turned him down a little bit.
Did I send you a PDC?
Let me know if it's better,
No,
Tom.
I gave you a verbal clearance. Okay, pushback and start on to November approved. Delta 1987, descend and maintain 3,000.
This guy's busy tonight. Let's pull up the chart to 19 right. ILS
JetBlue
19
503,
right.
expect the vectors ILS 9 approach, descend and maintain 8,000.
185, 187. As soon as we lose our juicy sun here, we'll have to. Actually, I don't want to miss our top of descent though. We're doing all right.
503, yes, expect day right.
Can I pop? Actually, look. Can I do this? No, I can't do
512
that.
runway 8 right, taxi via November, altimeter 3008.
I'm just gonna park it there for a minute though, because we got to take that in. That is the juice right there, my friends. Cam says, if you change runways, I learned on Toliss that you need to reselect the arrival, even if it's still the same, then it will sequence you correctly. Ah. Okay.
UPS 16.
That's actually an
We got
old...
ourselves in a very big thunderstorm.
This guy feeling a thunderstorm?
My elevator control, not really sure what to do here.
November 82 Charlie, squawk 4605. Guys, you got a squawk. When I give you a squawk code, you got to squawk that code for me, please. Delta 1987.
Sometimes you need to reload a whole arrival so I can put the transition. Okay. Yeah, I built it. We'll be fine. But
thunderstorm, what's your call sign?
yeah, I'll keep that in mind for next time. Yeah, the real airplane will automatically seamlessly integrate the star with the approach.
Can you control the aircraft at all?
I got aileron, but my elevator seems like it's gone. I tried to do like the fix all systems, but that's not doing anything, so we may have to say goodbye here.
Use your thrust levers.
Let me know. That's not from me, I hope. Maybe 2690, turn right heading 360 vector to the
Anthony Ennis, it's hard to go. We almost ready for descent. Yes, Anthony, we are pretty much set up.
Turn left heading
We're just
260.
enjoying some of this golden hour here in X-Plane, and then we're going to get inside for the descent. Should be just about ready to start down here. Rex Roy says, what is the realistic age to be at the regionals if I have a PPL instrument, most commercial done, graduated high school? Oh, man, you can be there 21, 20 years old, man. I don't know if there's an age limit for ATP. There might be, but hey, if you guys are worried about age, I flew with a gentleman just this week, 54 years old, just starting. He's got 10 years left. Oh no, he's 55. He's got 10 years left. He had a whole different career before this, and he said, you know, I wanted to fly. I had 10 years left. I wanted to get in on it, and he did. He got his ratings done. He did some instruction. Went through. I think he went through ATP in his 50s. Got his training done within 3, almost 4 years, and flew at a regional. Found himself at the airlines at age 55, 10 years left. He was a new hire, so he just started out at least a large carrier, mainline carrier. And he's got 10 years left to go, and he's enjoying every minute of it. So if you're in your 30s or 40s, it's not too late. I mean, that's proof right there. Lawrence says, yeah, this guy was Miami Departures when I got sent around on the FNO. We dealt with unresponsive aircraft. Uh-oh.
309, 309, are you with me?
Is that elevator failure due to your conga line? I don't think so. Oh, look at this with the contrails and the sun. Oh my gosh, this is the juice right here, folks. Are you kidding me? That is juicy.
American 512, Miami Center. Your clearance is on request. Will be a couple of minutes before I get to you. Delta 1987, turn right heading 360, vector to final.
General Huffman, you're 52. See, you're not too old, man. There you go. You could do it. You could get started today. Get your training done, man. Yeah, I get that question a lot, is what age is too old to start flight training?
Wings 1004, you departed my airspace and no joining ATC.
That got me. He's 50-something years old when he started. Alright, we're approaching Dog. Dog is at or below 21, though. I feel like we gotta start down. Let's go ahead and start down.
Alright, see you later.
Manage descent. I feel like I gotta do mental math. That's the twin...
Spirit Wings, correction, Speedbird 209er, squawk 4630.
Seatbelt sign is on. Seatbelt sign is on. Alright, let's hit a perf data set. KMPA. Anybody ever watch KMPA?
Right heading 060.
Tampa doesn't have any ATIS on that sim, so let's load it up from the sim here.
1306 runway, right
190 at 8 knots. Temperature of 32. Wow, that's warm. QNH
Delta 1987, you're 4 miles from grid. Turn right heading 060, maintain 3,000 till steps on localized, cleared ILS runway 1.
221 is the
Minor
bottom.
approach.
Alright, let's go back outside. Did we already miss the sunset? Oh, not quite. Should we watch it from inside the wing view? Oh yeah, look at that.
JetBlue 503, descend and maintain 3,000.
Do you know how, since I'm an IT guy, the thing I've got coming up is a mini glider course I've had to put back because my appendix went bang. Ouch! Sorry to hear that, man. But that's fun. Gliders would be a lot of fun, man. You know what's ironic is I think that gentleman I flew with was also IT. That was his career. He was an IT guy. Like a server, something with server, something well over my head. Super sharp guy. Yannick Murray says, I'm 33, currently training, trying to be with an airline before 40. That's a good goal. That's 20, if you're in the U.S., that's 25 years you could work at an airline, man. What input would I put if wind is variable? I would probably put 0 for 0. Some guys like to put a direct tailwind. Doesn't make that much of a difference. Unless it's variable at 10, then I might put it in as a tailwind. As Logan says, I don't like it when I hear I'm too old to start flight training excuse. Anyone can do it. It's never too late. I agree. Even if you get 5 years at the airlines. Absolutely.
Delta 1987, wind 130
Somebody hot mic on that Congo line, I think. Somebody's about to land. All right. I'm going to turn you off. I don't like this floodlight on the console here. Turn that down. Get it nice and cozy here. We're at a 34.5. Look across days at 10,000. So if we were at 30,000, that's 60 miles to go. So we're still a little high. What's up with that? Why are we high on profile here? Just on an open descent.
Yeah, American 898, I was just getting to you there. Your radar contact 10 miles west of the charge intersection. Cross raise at
there goes the sun.
10,250 knots, Tampa altimeter 3007.
3007 raise, 10,000, American 898.
Fairwings 812, you with me?
I love that bass on this BSS pack. All right, we're starting down here. Let me get back, change the audio, get it back to juiciness. We'll bump you up to about 50, 85 should be good there. 32.6 descending, cross raise at 10 and 250. We are 32.4. We're still doing 8.1 Mach. Should be okay with that. I'm gonna just set. We're not quite at crossover altitude yet.
Let's see, I have your radar contact 10 miles.
Let's lose a little spoid break, shall we? Lift dumpers deploy.
Tampa altimeter 3007, expect vectors ILS for correction. Cross raise at and maintain 10,250 knots.
Lift dumpers activate. See how slow they are when you're above 31,000 feet above this speed? Forget what it is. Should be a memory item. Forget. Apologize. But they actually operate much slower up here than they do on the ground.
American 309, expect vectors ILS
turn
for
him
wind
down.
9 approach to maintain 3,000.
All right, so we're approaching 40 miles at, let's say, 25, 15, 30, 45. Yeah, we're going to be on it. We're going to be on it. I'm going to speed up first and then go down. So I'm doing 300 here. Now watch how slow these spoilers retract when so I'm going to go full retract. See how slow they come down? Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
I'm going to have to close. I'm going to come up to Tampa approach.
Ooh.
Otherwise, I just said this isn't going to happen. Attention all aircraft on the frequency. I am closing. I'll be right back to you. Spirit Week 5970. I'll be back to give you a turn here in just a second. Sounds good. Spirit Week 5970.
I'm going to keep the speed up here. Let me check the VAMSys plug in here. So I've got some spacing on them now. HK Flight, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream, dude. We're on our descent. Just went dark. Oh wow, look at that skyline. Let's enjoy this here. Last little bit of sky. Tampa approach 1815. I'm gonna go ahead and just dial that in. Or 1815. Because he's probably gonna be calling us on that. 1815.
Turn right heading 160 vector 5.
Just gotta enjoy this shot right here.
Let's get this set up here.
Richard, you were the UPS that crashed in the storm? What happened, man?
Spare Wings 101, should have maintained 2,600.
Who's 101?
American 24-1, should have maintained 8,000.
Screaming Emu says, my friend Bob Ozig loves your channel. He's always laying back in the big front seat. Can you shout out Bob Ozog? He's the check-in champ. Awesome. Well, there you go. Bob Ozog, shout out, man. Thanks for watching the channel. I'm glad you enjoy the content. Papa Tango says, I'm a high schooler. I know the check ride age is 17. If I pass PPL July 31st, do you think I could get IFR by August 25th? I want to take girlfriend out for dates, VFR, and IFR. Papa Tango, thank you so much for the support, man. I appreciate that. I think, I mean, yeah, I don't, let's see. So, by August 25th, like this month? Wait, oh, you're talking about like July 31st? Because it's already August, my friend. Are you talking about this month or next year? Yeah, I mean, that's, if you're doing it all day, every day, it's going to be a grind, but you might be able to get it done in a month, maybe 2. Spirit Wings, you just said with you? Oh boy, can we get with yous in chat for Spirit Wings? We need some with yous. Everybody give Spirit Wings the with you. Good thing I didn't hear it, or I would have turned the radio off. Alright, what was our altimeter? We said
101, I gave you 2,600.
we said it was 3013.
Turn left now, heading
1020 is set, 3013 is set. We're gonna go manual brakes, full flaps, full reverse. Any questions? No questions. So we have to park over at the Spirit gates, which if I look at the Spirit will tell me they are gonna be parking.
Spirit Wings 56, are you with me?
Let's look at the A cars. Let's look at the booking. Here we go. Gates for Tampa, the handler is Alpha 16 to Alpha 18. So you see I pull up the booking here and I can see Alpha 16, Alpha 18. Handler Spirit uses local contractors for ground services at all stations except Fort Lauderdale. Beautiful. Only 2 gates.
Spirit Wings 56, my Tampa approach. Expect vectors for the ILS. Let's see, I don't know yet. Wait till I get you a little closer, I'll let you know. We'll be landing south. Roger, we'll be expecting.
So in here, this corner, airside Alpha. That's where we gotta go.
5656, descend and maintain 5,000. Out of 5,000.
We'll call him up when we're over raised 250 at 10. Probably still outside of his space a little bit there. Yeah, Haslogan, I agree. Instrument training is pretty long, and you have to, I think you got to build up your flight time too, right? You got to get a certain amount of hood time, and it's pretty hard to do it in 30 days, I would imagine. It's been so long since I've done it. I'd have to check to see how realistic that would be, but Andre Henry, you had to stay with you because you missed a radio call? Oh my gosh. We got to nuke him off the roster, Captain Tom, I agree. It was Spirit Wings 101, I believe. And his name is actually Spirit Wings.
270 at 9, runway 19 right, clear to land.
19 right, clear to land, 5970.
We got Spirit Wings landing.
101, turn right, heading 100.
We're 10 miles out, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to dive down. We got to make this, I don't know if we'll go slow to 250. I was caught sleeping here. So we're going to dive it down, spoid brakes out. Watch this descent right here, 319. We're going 340 on the speed. It's already going to speed out star mode because of our descent rate of 5,000 feet a minute. Don't thrust up, don't thrust up, don't thrust up. 250. Look at that, that's a 319 for you. Spoid brakes full out, leveling 10,000, 1,000 to go. Check. And since we are at nighttime now, and X-Plane kind of sucks at night, I'm going to turn the wing lights on so we have a little something to look at. What did I find the most difficult about IFR training? Probably hood time. getting used to flying under the hood, because you don't want to cheat because you're only cheating yourself. But if it's hot and bumpy, it can be nauseating, and you're not used to scanning. That's probably the most difficult part.
Spirit
Is
5750, descend and maintain 8,000.
descend and maintain 8,000. Spirit wings 5750. All right, descend and maintain 8,000. Set thrust idle. Oh,
Spirit wings
didn't pull it.
5750, expect vectors ILS, runway 19, right approach.
Roger, we'll expect vectors 19 rise, Spirit wing 5750. Thrust idle, open descent 8,000 blue. We're through 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and light it up here. Get our Chinese speed brakes on. Probably need to turn on, brighten up that overhead light.
Runway
There we go.
5656, descend and maintain 2,600.
Brighten up the cockpit a little bit. Actually, those lights are too bright. I want those bright, but I want the floodlights down. There we go. You like that, Gina?
Spirit wings 101, you're 5 miles from Bucks. Turn right heading
5 miles from what?
maintain 2,600.
Oh, Bucks.
Establish cleared ILS, runway 19 left approach.
Unpublished holds were rough for training. I got a good technique for training that. I loved holds. I loved teaching holds. I think it was fun to do because at the time, I thought, well, that's what big airplanes do, right? So I want to learn what big airplanes do. I want to hold. And then I realized doing a hold in the 152 at 10-mile legs freaking take 40 minutes to make one turn.
Are you guys going back to DFW tonight?
That's negative, Ghost Rider. You ever learn that pen trick? You just put your, the best way to do holds, I wish I could do it here, but you split this, like, what is it, 45 degrees or 30 degrees here, and straight up and down. Where's your outbound heading? Wherever it lays, you have teardrop, parallel, direct. Very simple. That's all you got to do. Find that outbound heading. Was it outbound or inbound? And then you have your LARS, left add, right subtract. Dimitri says, can you please, once and for all, dispel the idea that real-life pilots frown upon using the boards, especially on the approach? That is true. You don't, I mean, in the Airbus specifically, you're just going to have to use them. There are certain arrivals, certain approaches, where if you don't use the boards, you're not going to get down. And there are airplanes where I'm sure that maybe it's less common, but as far as the Airbus goes, you're going to be using the boards. You have to. Either that or you're going to blow through an altitude. Now, personally, I try to not use them. Sometimes I challenge myself by trying to not use them and try to make sure my descents, if I get a pilot's discretion descent, I try to make it where I won't have to. I try to make it perfect, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. I mean, there's times where there's just no way.
Approach Spirit wing 5970, taxi stairs now.
American 2401, 4 miles from...
Tony Obama says I've been flying for 15 years. I think I can count on my hand how many times I've actually helped. Maybe you don't fly to South Florida in the summer very often. Going to Florida in the summertime, man.
Wings 5970, taxi.
Probably hold. I mean, it's... If holds are... So in the airlines, we try to minimize holding if possible, right? So if you know that there's an approach controller holding, you're going to get, most likely you can request, can I get slowest practical speed or slow up? So you'll slow from 8.0 Mach to 7.6 or 7.4, and that adds 10, 15 minutes, right? So by the time you get there, you may not even hold. So yes, we do try to mitigate holding as much as possible, but there are times where you are going to be putting a hold. Very common in Florida. All right, so I got to remember not to because this thing is going to want to turn right on me. So after Entha, descent 2,600, Spirit wing 5750. 2,600, open descent. So in this particular case, I feel like this guy is going to slam dunk me in on final. So I'm not going to lollygag around. I'm going to crack those speed brakes a little bit.
Take Juliet over to airside Alpha on the
Make
other
sure I activate and confirm the approach phase. We are in selected speed.
Spirit Wings 1035, just to maintain 5,000. 5,000, 1035.
Forgot to get our LS push buttons on there. Bad briefing.
Spirit Wings 812, Tampa altimeter 3007, expect vectors.
Has Logan used Lars too? Yeah.
ILS runway
Lars, left dab,
19,
right subtract.
approach.
You'd be amazed at what stuff sticks with you.
Spirit Wings 812. Envoy 5656, turn right heading 160.
Alright, so after Enta, I'm going to go 005 on the heading, and then we're going to clean up this ND here. So I'm going to go ahead and dial in 005. This is because of a programming error.
Alright, right to 160, maintain 267 full established, and clear for the 19 left approach.
Little speed brake coming out.
Spirit Wings 812, you with me?
I think we'll be alright now. We're at a 6,000. We're 10 miles out. Yeah, we're looking good now. I'm going to work that speed brake out nice and smooth. You know, don't rip the speed brake if you can help it. It does, I mean, you can feel it, especially in those descents. It really starts to pitch on you. So I'll try to be smooth with the retraction of the speed brake. But don't sit there and play with it either, because that's also annoying. I flew with one guy the entire approach on the way to LA. You guys know LA, they clear you to land 100 miles out, and he's just sitting there on the speed brake. I was like, dude, I'm getting nauseous here. Like, either use it or don't use it. All right, so there's Enta.
American 2401, wind 270 at 9, runway 19 right clear to land.
So here we go, 005 on the heading. Now I'm going to clean up the box, which is going to be off of Fatty.
Yeah, I've been trying to raise you on the radio. You got me now, 5x5.
What is it? One. Oh no, it's 3.
Spirit Wings 812, make vectors ILS runway 19 right approach.
008. Insert.
American 898,
heading.
my Tampa approach, Tampa altimeter 3007.
So now we're in that turn.
Runway 19
Yeah,
left
we are on
approach.
radar vectors. Man, I haven't done a night approach in a while.
American 898, that'll be 19er left approach.
Look alive here, get my thrust pedal set up.
35, so maintain 2,600.
A little bit of bumpies, turbulence out here.
Alright, who's descend to flight level 210?
Getting bumped around out here.
Spirit Wings 56, Tampa altimeter 3007, expect vectors ILS runway 19 right approach.
Expect vectors 19 right approach, Spirit Wings 56.
Envoy 5656, wind 270 at 9er, runway 19 left, clear to land.
19 left, clear to land, Envoy 5656.
Spirit Wings 5750, turn right heading 100, vector to 5.
Right turn 100, Spirit Wings 5750. Alright, right turn 100 is set.
Spirit Wings 5101.
So, coming right back to 180.
Parking via Charlie, cross runway 10.
And we do want to know where we're going, so we no longer need to approach. I'm going to close that off. Try to keep your Avi tab cleaned up. I have a bad habit of that, but try to keep it nice and clean so you don't have to fumble around here. I want to pull up the 20-9. So I've got taxi, gates, and approach in that order. So I'm going to be coming in 19er right. Probably going to request to go
Tampa approach, cross raise at
Juliet.
10,000.
I'm going to plan to get off Whiskey 4, Juliet to airside 3 over here. Alright, there's VFE next, -10, extend flaps 1. Did I say thrust pedals? I'm all torn up, man. Hey, if you remember, you saw I posted in the V1 After Dark before the stream. I got 2 Yetis. One had bourbon, one has water. So,
welcome to Tampa, taxi to parking. Via Victor 1
bear with
Victor.
me. My wife's on the way to pick me up, actually.
Spirit Wings 5753 miles from Fatty, turn right heading 160, maintain 2,600 till established on localized cleared ILS runway 19 right approach.
160 on the heading, 2600 till established, cleared ILS 19 right approach, Spirit Wings 5750. Alright, cleared approach. A couple things happen. First, let's extend flaps 2. There's Lokestar. So when you get cleared approach on an ILS, it should be automatic every single time. Approach, autopilot 2, runway turn-off light on. Those three things. Boom, boom, boom. When you're on an ILS, that's what you get. Now this vector was a little tight. We overshot the final just a tad here. I'll set up my ND so you can see it a little bit better. A little bit of an overshoot on that vector, but we got it. 11 knot crosswind. Glide slope blue, Lokestar, Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1+2. Remember, 2,000 feet above touchdown zone. Touchdown zone is 21. Let's make it easy math. Round it up, 100 feet. So what's 2,000 plus 100? 2,100. We're going to manage the speed, gear down, and we'll slow down on speed and get stable by 1,000. Just verify that it is indeed a 3-degree path. You can also check that on your McDo. And a little bit more than 3 degrees, and you might have to configure a little bit early, but traditional 3-degree path, 2,000 feet above touchdown. Optimize energy approach here. Not burning extra fuel. Glide slope star. We're on the ILS. If we have to go around altitude is 3,000. Blue, set. 19 right, clear to land. Spirit Wings 5750. Clear to land, our light is on. There's our glide slope. 3,000 is set for missed approach altitude. Alright, so here's the thing. Trying to do everything realistic here, but I'm going to go unrealistic and try to butter because VAMSIS gives you bonus points for landing rates. So we got to be, what's that, sub 160 or something? 2,100, manage speed, gear down, arm the spoid brakes. Notify the flight attendants. VFE next, minus 10, flaps 3. Beautiful night approaching, 12 knot direct crosswind. VFE next, minus 10, flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin crew advised, auto thrust, speed, auto brakes are off, ECAM memo, landing all green, landing checklist is complete. Look at that, we're stable well above 1,000 feet, we're VAP, plus 20, plus 15, we've still got 300 feet, we're looking good. Alright, I'm going to hand fly this in here, so we're going to turn autopilot off. Cat 1. Alright, so I am going to probably not make Dimitri very happy here because I'm probably going to land long because I want to get that nice soft touchdown for my points. This thing is really gusty tonight, though. Jeez. Really gusty right now.
45 Lima, I'm going to be unable to help you with that right now. So, frequency change approved, and you go ahead on your own.
We may not get a better on this one because it is gusted pretty good. 15 knot direct crosswind. Yeah, Andre, I agree. Then you'd get rid of the butter chasers.
500.
I mean, we're at 319, we're light, so I'm not too worried about stopping distance.
400.
This is what separates the Virtual Airlines from the airlines. Plus, I've had my fair share of bourbon tonight, so we're looking good, though. No excuses. Here we go. 2 whites, 2 reds, 100 above, in sight, landing. Man, I keep getting, I mean, I wish you could see my stick movement here. Airplane keeps wanting to blow off to the
50,
left.
40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Wings 1035, wind 270,
Damn.
runway 19 left.
That was more of a textbook instead of a butter. Spoilers. Manual brakes. 70 knots. Start the clock. Yeah, no butter on that one, my friends. Ooh, 325. We'll have to see what Pegasus gives us. But we made our turn off. I'll just say that the real airline pilot got me there. Had to do the textbook landing.
Descend and maintain 2,600.
Descend and maintain 2,600, Spirit wings 56.
We're going to turn left here on, is it Juliet? Juliet's the next one. All right, let's clean it up.
American 898, turn right heading 100, vector to final.
Vector 100, American 898.
Got the timer started. Strobe lights off. Yeah, that was a fail on the butter front. But that wind, man, so I know what happened. We'll see it in the replay, maybe. It might be too dark. But it's that gust of wind that's pushed me over. You see my wings, almost very similar to how that Zebo landing went. But I was able to correct and crab with the right aileron, which got that right main to touch down first, and we probably touched down a little bit harder than I would have liked.
I don't have time to deal with the VFR right now. It's going to be a little while.
Why no auto brake?
Because
I like to control the deceleration of my airplane. So, you know, I wanted to turn at Whiskey 4 so we could go right to airside 3.
Wings 812.
So
wind 270 at 9 runway.
that's why I went no auto brake on that one. Once we get our, what is it, 2 minutes time?
898, turn right heading
Or
160.
3 minutes, I think it's 3 minutes.
American 898, 5 miles from Bucks, turn right heading 160, maintain 2,600 to establish on the localizer, clear ILS runway 19, left approach.
Oh no, I made the wrong turn. Rip. Great. We gotta make a U-turn here. We're gonna turn around here.
Southwest 747 radar
Go to the wrong
contact
gates.
reported descend and maintain.
That's right, we're at 319. Watch this baby
Flight
swing.
heading 030, vectors for descent.
Look at that 319. Turn on a dime. I'm getting dizzy. Whoa. Alright, made a wrong turn here.
Southwest 747 Tampa, altimeter 3007.
Any landing you can walk away from, exactly. I want to see, so we'll see what VAMSys gave us. All right, as we approach 3 minutes, that's our cooldown period for full reverse. Wait, I can't cross here? What's going on there? What is this? Is this a scenery bug? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going through it. Godspeed. Seatbelt sign is on. This is a taxiway. That's why I made the wrong turn. This should be a bridge. Hang on to your butts.
American 898, wind 270 at 9.
We're into the warp zone. Oh, not good. Oh, no. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay. We've got a Spirit. Hey, we're on top of the bridge. Oh, we got 2 fires. We got fire in the left engine. Oh, we're emergency electrical configuration. What is happening here? I'm starting the APU. Oh my gosh. Okay, well let me end the VAMSys because.
Fairways 1447.
Oh my gosh. Park brake set. Aircraft has crashed. Aircraft has crashed? VAMSys says aircraft has crashed? No. We went into the warp zone. Are you kidding me? This says we aircraft at 218 feet per minute. Aircraft has crashed. Wow. Invalid by rep. Oh my gosh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we technically, let's see if we can put these fires out. This is not good. I can't even blow the bottles. That's not accurate. Because the battery should be on. Wow. Well, let's evacuate. Evacuate, evacuate, evacuate. Unbelievable. All that work, and we have to end like this. You gotta be kidding me. Does that count as V1's first crash on stream? Leroy Jenkins. Are you kidding me? After almost 3 hours, Captain Tom, I'm gonna need maximum points on that one. Look at my wheels. They're all jacked up here. They're like backwards. Are you kidding me? Is this reload and turn your engines off? That's right. Let me do a replay. Let's see what happens with that. Rip to everybody that was on final. We're just going to continue. Hey. Oh, that's annoying. Let's watch our landing. Godspeed. I can't believe it, man. Put you in replay mode here. XP72 is going to love this one. Yeah, he's streaming tonight too, right? I'm gonna probably wrap up tonight over there. Unreal. All that hard work. We'll analyze this landing. Then we'll get out of here. Time for a stiff beverage? Yeah, Lauren, I need a stiff beverage tonight. Oh man, we were doing so well. Let's see what happens here. Let's analyze this. So here we go. See, I'm starting to gust. See the airplane tilting to the left. A little bit of right aileron. Needed more left rudder. Definitely needed more left rudder. Needed more left rudder. But there you go. There's your upwind wheel main. 1, 2. And then nose wheel comes down for 3. Which we are a little off center line. A little bit of a silo. See, I needed more rudder there. But we're drinking a couple bourbons, crashing into the terminal building. I'll take it. Gina Hoffman, I seriously enjoyed the stream. Wish we could upvote multiple times. Thank you, I appreciate it, Gina. Guys, that's going to, unfortunately, we're going to have to end on that bad note. But I still had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, we hit hard here. But, hey, it was a good three-point land, or a good crosswind landing. A little bit more rudder was definitely needed. But, mods, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I know it's late for a lot of you Europeans out there. Captain Tom, thanks for hanging around. Shout out to vSpirit. You guys will see me in and out of there every now and then if I'm not streaming. Sometimes I'll do a little vSpirit flight just because it gives you something to fly for and crash for, apparently. So, Christian is coming in to land next. Christian, awesome, dude. I'll probably load in and watch you guys touch down just in some 172 or something. But, guys, I had a lot of fun. Thank you for all the support. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to be off to work flying the real bus for 4 days. I got a ball buster of a trip coming up here. So wish me luck. I will be in contact with you guys via the community tab and Discord, I'm sure. Enjoy your weekend. Have a wonderful rest of your night. I'm V1. Stay safe. Stay healthy. See ya. All right, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Never a good sight. That's never a good sight with your engines in the dirt.